Control. It is Friday, September 15th, 2023. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, as always, Brian Kruse. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Friday. Here we are, right? Time to do a little drinking Friday, gonna hang out, talk about some entertainment news, have a good time with our friends, and have a few beers along the way because it's Friday. And joining me back, as always, is my lovely co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. Happy Friday. How you doing today? Hey, Ty.
Hi, Ty. Hi, Brian. What's up?
What's up in the chat? How you doing, Sabrina?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. How's your Friday?
Uneventful. That's where I'm going. Your energy is a lot for me right now. I'm feeling way underprepared for the energeticness that is Brian Kruse right now. So I'm going to try to ramp it up.
You got to come in hot. You got to come in hot. And you got to get in there.
Not nailing that today, but I'm going to try.
I believe in you. And somebody else is going to bring that energy as she always does. It's the queen of Drunk Friday herself, Miss Rachel Blakely. Rachel, welcome back to Kruse Control. How you doing tonight?
I'm hanging in there. How you doing?
Doing well.
I feel like I have to keep the energy now.
I'm coming in hot. Maybe I'm just coming in hot. It's like I'm like full of energy right now. I know it's been a day. I guess it's been quite the day. Hey, GR, welcome back. Good to see you. Racer X, what's up, Racer X? Cheers to you, Racer X. That's all I can say. Cheers to you. Thanks for being here on Kruse Control. And also joining us back it's been a little bit, but back on Kruse Control because he's a friend of the show. He's got his own podcast too, IPA Sessions podcast. You can hear me doing a special version this coming Monday, everybody. But a friend of the show, I'm going to call you K Jacob, coming in hot. You got me so hard. K Jacob, you're messing me up, man. I love you so much.
I know. I'm trying to Control.
What's up, Ryan?
With my new radio name. I apologize, but thank you for having me on. I am your monthly guest, I think, at this point. I feel like I show up once a month, at least. I got to be here once a month. But yeah.
You have to be.
Thank you for having me on. And yes, there is a awesome episode that we got to record together for the podcast. Thanks to you and Sabrina for what you've been doing with the strike coverage on this show. I wanted to help out and show people a little bit more in-depth interview about what's really going on with this strike. So we did a special. It'll be coming out this Monday, and it's basically what is the WGA SAG strike, and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, we've been covering a lot of that. Everybody knows we've been here. We've been just talking about stuff constantly. Hey, Racer X saying hi.
I love the name,
It's amazing. I love the picture too. We've been covering that a lot because it's constantly affecting everybody here in Hollywood, and it's affecting you at home. We've got some more updates with that, of course, tonight, as we always do. But what's everybody drinking tonight? It's Friday. What we got going on? I got a little Jack and Coke in my official Kruse Control mug right here. Everybody.
What do you got going on there, Jacob? These are IPA lights in the background. It's IPA official colors, pink, baby. That's how we roll.
What was that, Rachel?
Sorry.
Oh, I just got a gin and soda. That's what I'm drinking.
Nice.
Jacob's like, listen, we're talking about me. We're talking about my show.
I haven't been on it,
this is my world. You guys just shut the fuck up, and I'm going to do me for a minute. Don't interrupt.
I'm celebrating Barbie and IPA tonight, and I'm a redneck.
Yeah.
I'm just drinking beer. That's how I roll.
And Sabrina's got a Jack and Coke, I think, too, right, Sabrina?
No, not at all.
No. What are you drinking, Sabrina?
Jack and Coke.
Jack and Coke.
Yeah.
Hi, Lexi, also.
Hey, Lexi, welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about, everybody, because regardless of what's happening in the business, like I say always time, and maybe shows are slowing down, maybe people aren't working, but there's always some breaking news. Let's get it. All right, the very first thing I want to talk about is a little bit of Back to the Future for a second. Just a second, because Back to the Future Day is coming up, everybody. And what day is Back to the Future Day? Of course, it's October 21st, because that's the day that Marty and Doc travel into the future. So on October 21st, they're having a special showing of Back to the Future, the 1985 original film, going back, special appearance. So they're remastered the whole thing. If you hadn't a chance to see it in theaters, this is the time to see it, especially on big Back to the Future Day. And you go on Fathom Events, where you find it, fathomevents.com. You find tickets, or if it's at a local theater near you, they actually have the tickets on sale for everyone else too. But big event, Back to the Future. I love it so much. That's why I just want to put it out there. Back to the Future Day is pretty awesome. But something else that's going back is the WGA and the AMPTP to negotiating. Finally, everybody. Finally. I know it's about time, but then, AMPTP put this out there. They said that the WGA reached out to them again. They said, let's sit down, let's talk about it. So now they're going to try to schedule a meeting for next week.
You know why, Brian?
Why is it?
You know
Why is that, Jacob?
Because they're fucking nervous because the studios, the legacy studios are like, and showrunners are like, hey, we'll take a meeting with you, WGA. We'll start working out fucking arrangements and deals because fuck the AMPTP.
Well, that's a big part of it. That's like they've been already talking about how other studios want to talk to them, and they're like, well, maybe we'll work a deal, these side deals. Well, I don't think the Alliance wants to break up right now, but they said on Wednesday, this is what the Alliance said, that the WGA reached out to the AMPTP and asked for this meeting to move negotiations forward, and we have agreed, and we are working a schedule to meet next week. Every member of the company, the AMPTP, is committed and eager to reach a fair deal, and working together with the WGA to end this strike is our priority, which I think is BS.
Yeah,
but
they reached out after it was confirmed that they were going to have a meeting today with showrunners and some legacy studios. So yeah, they really wanted that meeting.
Yeah. Well, also like Fran Drescher was just out there because they had a big strike that happened on Wednesday.
Hammer down. I saw that.
Yeah. She was just giving them shit too about these greedy executives.
Called them out. It was great. Oh,
calling them out.
Negotiator. Fucking love it.
Yeah. Just knocking up some bitches and being like, listen to us, we want a fair deal, take care of us.
Knocking up some bitches, I think
well, maybe not knocking the heads of some bitches. Happy Friday. Time to drink on that one.
I'm working on a 6-pack. Started with the 8-pack. We'll get there.
Was she at the thing, the march?
Yeah, she was there. She was there. Yeah,
I was not there, so I don't know.
Yeah, she was there.
Well, Ryan was there. Ryan, did you see the nanny in the chat, bud?
But it was a big thing. They marched from Netflix all the way to Paramount and then back, and they had
I bet
a huge strike.
Snacks there when they got to Paramount. Hopefully, they probably had Danny Trejo probably had a taco truck or something amazing.
A lot of people were donating food to the cause. It's not just coming out of dues. Taco trucks, crepe trucks, coffee trucks, all that kind of stuff. So it's been great that people are giving. There was like actually giving pizza out like every that's a big thing. You see pizza all the time, but there's like pizza companies just giving pizza out. So trying to help support. Ryan said it was awesome. Yeah, I heard it looked like it was great. The AMPTP,
she was awesome. The nanny negotiator, but
yeah, she's freaking sweet. But that's just a tad. We're going to talk about this more, but that's just a tad about what's happening. Something else, though, that's coming back, and you might have heard of this one, is One Piece. Now, One Piece on Netflix is apparently getting all these huge ratings. I haven't heard this, but apparently, I'll let Sabrina talk about this in 1 second, because apparently it's a pretty big project, but Netflix picked it up for its second season. Now, it's been airing for a little bit less than 2 weeks. It actually debuted August 31st, and they're saying that it's already been streamed 38 million views. 38 million views in like less than 2 weeks. It might end up being at this rate one of the number one, if not the number one, all streamed of all time Netflix shows. So pretty big. It's based off a comic or an anime, right, Sabrina?
Yep.
Based off an anime called is it manga? I think it's called. Yeah, manga. And manga is like it pretty much follows an overworldly adventures of Monkey D. Luffy and his pirate crew as they explore exotic islands and endless oceans in search for the ultimate treasure. And trying to become Pirate King, apparently. So the One Piece is based on anime. Yeah, thanks for Rex. Yeah, but it's based off an anime. Sabrina wants to talk about this too, because I know we had a little talk about how this is coming back. Sabrina, tell us a bit more about this project.
Well, largely unsuccessfully, people have tried to adapt anime into live action. But this is like one of the most popular. Yeah, and what was that? Cowboy Bebop also not great, right?
People love it.
But this is like one of the most popular anime series ever. It has 1,075 episodes or something like that. Like it's over 1,000 episodes total.
Yeah, it's insane.
Spanning over its seasons. And it's wildly popular. The way that they did this series, which I think is part of what I haven't watched it, but I think part of what's made it successful is like how fast paced it is. So like this first season covered 60 episodes of the anime, and like they already have season 2 written, and it's projected to cover 74 episodes of the anime series. So it's very fast paced, and I think people enjoy that. Like there's like we complain a lot sometimes like when there's shows, especially like Star Wars or like Disney Plus shows with Marvel shit. It's like for 4 episodes nothing happens, and then all of a sudden it's like bang bang bang. So like they're bang 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 right out of the gate, which I think is great. So I think that's part of its success. Also, I think visually, it's stunning, and I'm not partial because it was shot on Hawk lenses. But they
shout out to Hawk
had a very special set of the first MHX, the first thing to ever be shot on our MHX lenses, which is large format hybrid lenses. They're beautiful. Like you can have the camera this close. There's like no minimum focus. Like it's ridiculous. These lenses are amazing. And watching the trailer, like the colors and it's so, I'm so proud that they were shot on hog lenses, that it was shot on hog lenses, excuse me. And so, yeah, I think that it's visually stunning, and the fact that it's such a popular show and that they did it like, very, very kind of quickly. So yeah, I think it's going to be successful. People obviously love it. And
Welcome back, Queen Glamazona.
Hi. Also, Racer X, you were a character on an anime once. What?
Fuck yeah, Racer X.
What anime? Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, Sabrina, everyone's going nuts about it. Anybody watch this yet? Because I've been wanting to watch it because we watched the trailer. I haven't watched the first episode yet, but all of them are streaming on Netflix. Jacob, did you see this yet?
No, not the live action. I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the anime. It's not for me, but I can see why it's extremely popular, because it really does feel like it could range from little children all the way up to grown ass adults. Like it's for anyone and everyone. So like, it's just the perfect storm, I guess, for like everything that you would want in anime. It's just personally not for me. But
yeah, I know people have been going nuts, but yeah, that's cool. That's ranging for that big of a demographic that it can go from kids all the way to adults. I mean, it looks like it could be for kids, but then again, like there's a lot of adult themes there. Rachel, have you heard of this project before? Have you watched it on Netflix?
I've heard of it. Again, it's not an anime for me. But if it's doing well, cool for that. Because traditionally, like Sabrina said, these anime conversions don't tend to do too well. I know the Death Note one wasn't good. It didn't do very well. Cowboy Bebop flopped. So it's interesting to see one actually succeed.
Yeah, I will say this though, Cowboy Bebop, it did flop, but I actually enjoyed it. It was visually beautiful. And I feel like with One Piece, it's like they finally got it right. They got the story, the characters, and the visualization right. And it seems that actual fans of anime and all that, they're actually really excited about it and they like it. And it doesn't seem like it was completely whitewashed by Netflix, which is great. Like I see it's got a bit of a mixed cast there.
Yeah, pretty diverse cast. Yeah, it's awesome. Honestly, we gotta check it out maybe this weekend because everyone's going nuts about it. Now it's picked up. Maybe it'll be a good thing. Say hello to your brother Speed for me, Razor X. I love that. I love that.
Wait for the answer.
Will do. Awesome. But One Piece is coming back, but something that's not coming back as fast as you heard it is Aerosmith's tour, because Aerosmith's tour is taking a little speed bump right now because Steven Tyler actually hurt his vocal cords. A whole thing went down. They did 3 shows, and apparently he put this statement out saying that his vocal cords were injured and he can't actually sing for 30 days. So they're postponing a lot of the shows. Well, at least a handful, 6 concerts actually. But he said, my heart is broken to say I have received strict doctor's orders not to sing for the next 30 days. I sustained vocal cord damage during Saturday's show. And he said on top of that led to subsequent bleeding. We'll need to postpone a few dates so that we can come back and give you the performance you deserve. Now, this is pretty insane. Like, they've been trying, this is their last tour. They announced it. It's called the Peace Out Tour. They're saying goodbye. They're actually going to end after New Year's, like where they began. So they're going full circle again with their career. Like their very first performance will be their very last, same venue, I should say, at the very end of it. But taking off 30 days, it's quite a bit of a hiccup in the thing. But hopefully he'll be okay and he comes back and he starts kicking ass again. Now, if you did have these tickets, you can, just before I get there, if you did have these tickets, they're going to switch them out. You'll be able to just switch them out easily. But if you can't make it, they'll give you a full refund. So that's how it's going to kind of go down for this. So, it sucks. It really does suck. But and Steven Tyler's been rocking for so long, I can't imagine like not being able to sing like this. It's got to really be, because he's living on the edge. You're right, Ryan. It's got to be tough. It's got to be tough.
Yeah. He's just saying, dream on.
Dream on. I'll be back.
Old man hurts himself trying to do what he did when he was in his 30s. Like, that's kind of the headline here.
Although I will say, he said there was a bit of bleeding that was caused. So it's
bleeding.
Like, damn, like you went hard, Steven Tyler. Good job.
I mean, your vocal muscles, they don't age, entirely well all the time. And especially
they don't age well.
They don't age well. Especially if he wasn't doing... Well. It's fair. Especially, the man's lived a hard life. He's been a rock star. He probably wasn't
not been a rock star. He is a fucking rock star.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's saying that's his life. His life is full of being a rock star.
All the time. So, he maybe wasn't taking the best care of himself all the time. So that'll put stress on your your body and your vocal cords. So it was bound to happen. And honestly, with his age, it's not surprising.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I'm shocked they're still rocking and rolling like this too, and he's able to hit those notes as it is. It has to take a toll on your vocal cords. Sabrina, do you think they'll be back in 30 days, or do you think you might need some more time after all is said and done?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like they were on tour for 3 days. Like they did 3 shows before this happened, and now he's like, oh, I'm gonna take a 30-day break and like jump back in. It's a 40-show tour. So I don't know. I feel like this is something that can, re-injure, and there could, be issues further on down the line as well. But I salute them for, trying to stay on track and be like, this is going to be fine. And I guess, obviously he's going to the best doctors. He's Steven fucking Tyler. So if they say he can sing in 30 days, they're probably right. I just can't imagine.
I would hope so, right?
I can't imagine that that's something that you can probably re-aggravate, re-injure. Maybe he just doesn't sing the screaming songs. Maybe he goes more with like Pink, or like
it's my new obsession.
Yeah, maybe just like chills it a little bit instead of the screaming songs, for the first couple shows back, and then maybe he can make a full recovery. I do.
Fingers crossed.
People's voices do change.
It's true.
I not that I agree with that. I guess it's a fact, so I don't have to agree with that. You were pointing that
my
out.
first concert I ever went to. It was great.
We're not an age shot, bro. Why are you being so
It's not an
sensitive?
age shot.
No, man.
It's not an age
It's
shot.
just a matter of fact, dude. He's in like his 70s or 80s at this point. Shit changes.
Yeah.
Still
shit.
hitting
Older
it pretty
shit.
hard. I will say this. I saw Perry Farrell, Jane's Addiction, open up for 9 Inch Nails, like maybe 10, well, probably longer than 10 years ago. The older I get, the time
It flies.
smudges. It was a while ago, but it was their Wave Goodbye tour, and it was 9 Inch Nails' Wave Goodbye tour, but it was like kind of a double feature situation. And honestly, like he sounded exactly like he did on the album. It was ridiculous. And talk about someone who's living a rock star life, So like it's just like everybody's
Can't stop,
body
won't
reacts
stop.
different to things. Like I was like, this is probably going to be a shit show, and I was so like, I love 9 Inch Nails, and I went there for 9 Inch Nails. Like, don't get me wrong, and it was an amazing show. But I was so enamored with the performance that Perry Farrell fucking gave. It was nuts, and I was like, I was like, I just couldn't believe it. So I guess for everybody, but also the screaming is hard to do. You have to like train yourself to do it from the diaphragm instead of doing it from the throat.
impression.
So maybe he does that, but Steven Tyler does it. Like, I don't know. I speak from my throat. I sing from my throat. I yell from my throat. My diaphragm doesn't even know what it's doing. I don't know why I have one. Like, so some people can't control it. I cannot control it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it is. And like, that's, maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
And hey, you know what? At least, yeah, and at least he's not continuing the tour and doing lip syncing. Like that's awesome that he really wants to give the audience and the fans what they paid to see, an actual live performance. So I think that's pretty fucking cool. It does suck that you have to take the detour for a little bit, but hey, he'll be back. We'll catch him when he comes back. It'll be awesome.
Yeah, she wasn't the whole Queen Glamazon. Is it Glamazona or Glamazonia? Glamazona.
Arizona.
Glamazona. You, girl.
I was just about to say, as long as Liv Tyler's okay, I'm okay.
Yeah, she was. She was in that Armageddon, which was spectacular. She was also recently in that Lone Star 911, right? And she decided to stop working because she didn't want to be dealing with all the COVID.
Stuff. Yeah. And she stepped down.
Still kicking for sure.
I'm sure
she was
Brian
great.
remembers her best from Lord of the Rings.
She was good in Hulk. She was really good in Hulk.
She was awesome. Yeah, she was awesome in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Mike would be like, hey, Mike would be all about. Yeah, she
was an elf.
She was great. Yeah, but she's also great in independent. Not independent. Armageddon. She was great in Armageddon too. That's just what an awesome movie. Just talking about Aerosmith music too. So good. People love it. So somebody else that people love though, and I know Rachel's one of them, is Taylor Swift herself. And I got some new news about Taylor Swift coming forward. Just an update about the Eras tour. Now Cinemark's actually going to do what they were doing during COVID, having these private rooms where you can rent out whole theaters and have have VIP event with your friends and your family together to watch the Eras tour on the big screen in a private VIP experience. And they're calling them Swifty rooms. So you get your own Swifty room at Cinemark, rent the whole thing out, and they're saying it's going to be a different experience. So it's a supercharged version of that. They haven't gone into much specifics about that, but I'm guessing they're probably going to give you some kind of, maybe you get glitter or something. You come, I don't know. Rachel, what would you get to get a supercharged version, Rachel? What would we do to get supercharged version of a Swifty room? What would you hand out?
Lighting effects or something? I don't know. Maybe you get a free popcorn, but it's Cinemark. They're cheap. They're not going to give you shit.
You're right.
But having the whole place to yourself sounds fucking awesome. I would love to do that. During COVID, we did that once or twice. It was much cheaper though, because it was only $100 during COVID to rent out the theater.
Oh.
And I'm sure it's not going to be $100 now.
No, 800.
Is this a segment?
You know what? Honestly, if you get enough friends, if you get like 16 to 20 friends to do it, that's honestly not that bad. If you just split it up.
No, they said it's up to 40. So if 40 people go, then it's only $20 a person, which is cheaper than a ticket.
Yeah,
which is the same or cheaper than the ticket. That's great. I would absolutely do that if I had 40 friends.
And you have a friend show. Hey, why not?
That'd be great. It sounds like it'll be a lot less hectic and crowded than the big events, but like I think there's something to say about both experiences. But like personally, if I had 40 friends, I would do it.
And it's already at like 75 million or something like that pre-sales. They're saying that it's encroaching further and further on that 100 million opening weekend, which could be very massive. And actually, Duncan Crabtree, Ireland came out and said that the whole thing is approved by SAG, which I thought was interesting too, because again, this is one of those things where it's like, they probably shot a bunch of it beforehand, but they went through the actual like talking to SAG and be like, can we release this in theaters? Is it okay for us to do this? Because everyone makes sure the
LA shows,
all of them.
So it was very much within the during the strike that they filmed it.
Oh,
but they agreed to the terms of the contracts that SAG and everyone have been asking for. So they paid everyone fairly to do it, and that's how they got the voucher. Was just by not being shitty.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm actually
just don't be shitty.
Right. I'm a fan of hers now simply because of her taking the what I call the A24 approach. And I love that. Like, that's fucking awesome. Like, thank you. Like, she's in the music industry and she's setting the example. I fucking love it. So mad props to the old Swiftie there, Taylor Swift.
So Jacob, you got your ticket for opening day or what?
Shit, if you give me one, I'll fucking go.
We'll have to have a Swiftie tour. Like the cruise controls make it
I'll buy a Swiftie
room.
shirt and everything. Fuck yeah.
I would love to do a cruise control rents a Swiftie room. Like, this is all pitching into it.
We would have to live stream something. You know what I mean? We'd have to be live and like, hey, what's up?
We would get pulled immediately. Like,
probably
the copyright strike on that would be massive.
They'd like take this down, take it down
paid
now.
For, and I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Sabrina, what do you think about this? Is it surprising they're doing the VIP rooms for Taylor Swift?
It's just confusing to me because like, what is a VIP room? Like, it gives you like nothing. Like it gives you nothing. Like, what does it give you? It gives you you and 40 of your friends a theater to watch
Taylor Swift in.
Like, you don't get popcorn, you don't get cocktails, you don't get sodas, you don't get anything. Like, I don't understand. What's so VIP about it? You're allowed to bring your friends. Guess what? If I go online and order tickets to the show, I can order 40 tickets and me and my friends can go. So I don't really know what's VIP about it. I guess if you have like a smaller group and you're not filling up the 40 seats, then, if you're paying more money, I guess then you can go with 20 friends, let's say, and pay $40 each instead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'm confused. I just feel like it's not super VIP. Unless you're using it at a smaller scale, like you're going with 20 of your friends or 15 of your friends, paying more money, and then you have the whole theater to yourself to run around and do whatever you want, which I could see being cool. If I was going to be in a movie theater pretending I was watching a concert or pretending I was at a concert, I should say, I could see that being cool. But like, if you get 40 people, I don't know, who has 40 friends these days? Jesus, who has the time? Right? My God.
You don't have 40 friends, Sabrina?
Exhausting. No, I definitely don't have 40 friends. I don't think I have 40 family members, for fuck's sake.
And I don't know 40 people in general, let alone 40 people who would want to go do this with me.
Right?
Some people do, though, probably. Some people.
I can't even get one person.
I would love that. There should be. That'd be awesome if there was bottle service. But the Swifty rooms are coming, everybody.
Oh,
So
and hey, Racer
if
X, that song about the X was about
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Just throwing it out there.
Wait, there's 30 songs about the X. Like, just to be clear, like
One of those
there's
30s was
X's
about
and
Jake
many
Gyllenhaal.
songs.
To be clear, some of those are about
That's
her
right.
ex-girlfriends.
Well,
Hey,
whatever. Just
more
her
love to go
exes.
around. I
There's a
love it.
lot of exes.
a lot of X's. But
Who
you know,
got the nice outfit? Was it a Taylor
It's
Swift
me.
picture?
I
You
have
like
a nice
Taylor's outfit?
outfit.
You do not have a nice outfit, okay?
I'm
Oh,
wearing my
oh, oh,
official
oh,
Dodgers hat.
poser.
Thanks to you, Sabrina.
You're welcome.
shots fired.
Even though you called me a poser.
I had switched to beer, but you know, we know that Rachel loves her some Tay-Tay, but Sabrina loves her some Ryan Reynolds. And I got a little update about Ryan Reynolds and Barbie because why not? Let's combine everything. But Ryan Reynolds is
Great and
Free
greater.
Guy, right? Ryan Reynolds is Freeguy 2 is in development, everybody. This has
drink
been
when
something they've been
talking
talking about. Do we have to?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
I forgot.
Before we do this, everybody take a drink because we're talking about Ryan Reynolds
I'm
here.
about Ryan Reynolds.
We've been slacking on the drinking games on Friday. I don't know why.
Hey, you guys in the chat, you're supposed to tell us to drink and stuff when we do dumb stuff or annoy you or just because you feel like it or
Tell us a drink.
whatever.
Whatever you want to tell us. But Ryan Reynolds is coming back for Free Guy 2. And now Sean Levy was talking about this, who's a director of course, he's doing Deadpool 3. He's directing this. He directed Free Guy 1. And he was talking about how Barbie's influence on cinema is going to change how they think about Free Guy 2. And I was like, this doesn't really make sense to me, but let's get into it. So here's what I said. I said, we're developing a sequel, but the truth is that we now have Barbie that has obviously left a mark on a character in a fictional world who comes to self-awareness. So we're only going to have to think about Free Guy in a different way. And if we're going to do it, we have to do it different from the first time, but also different from other movies like Barbie. So pretty much he's saying like Barbie's gone to the real world. She's been a character that's figured it out and now she becomes real. So if Free Guy, now Guy is real. If you've seen Free Guy 1, you know that he goes through this whole thing, figures out that he's, spoiler alert, figures out like what he was and where he's going and how he wants to kind of be sentient in a lot of ways. It's like the first very sentient AI. So for him to touch upon this, he's worried about it not, being different from Barbie, which makes sense. But I really don't think these are the same thing. I really don't. It's just, Free Guy came out in 2021. So, I mean, I don't really see these the same though, because
Lexi.
I like Free Guy a lot.
Thank you, Lexi.
Boo,
Thank you.
Lexi.
Free Guy was fun.
just
It was a
was
fun
great.
movie. Before we get into the
Shots
hate here,
fired.
before the shots fired, Sabrina, because Sabrina loves her some Ryan Reynolds.
I do.
What do you think about Free Guy 2? And do you think that Barbie should actually influence the script at all moving forward?
There's no news yet. Queen Glamazona. Did I fuck it up again? I think I got it right. Because they just came out. There's talk about a Ken spinoff. There has been already, but not news on a Barbie 2. So just to answer that question really quickly.
Not officially, but they have been talking about it behind
Right,
closed
well,
doors.
because it's only made $1.3 or $4 billion already. It's insane. And now they're doing a special release, by the way, in LA at our movie theater in 4DX of Barbie. Like not a special release, but a special showing of it in 4DX. I can't imagine why you would need a 4DX situation, but if anyone's a huge Barbie fan, they live near North Hollywood, Regal, go get it. Also, the Ryan Reynolds question, obviously my favorite, adorable. Look at him, adorable. So I feel like I get what he's saying. The thing is that it's very similar, and I would also like to say, don't get mad at me, but Ryan Reynolds did it first. He's a video game character who starts to have feelings and be aware, but it's triggered by a love interest, basically.
It's different.
It's different, but he is a fictional character that, is starting to become real, which is something that's not supposed to be able to happen, which is the same thing with Barbie. She's a doll. She's a toy. She's not supposed to be able to become real. So I feel like I understand the similarity, and I feel like if they're gonna do a second one and they want to do it better justice and make a better movie, like who's gonna be mad at that? I'm not gonna be mad at that. For the record, I don't care what they do in Free Guy 2, I'm gonna go see it. But that's just because I love Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is though,
I would love that. A Barbie Free Guy crossover.
That'd be fun.
watch it.
It would be all
I'd
beautiful
watch it.
people. It would be amazing.
I think it'd be fun. I'm gonna drink to that.
GR
I will
said
say
Free
this.
Guy was good.
Yeah.
I tried watching. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say GR is a friend of the show.
Oh my God, I can't keep up with the comments.
Jacob,
Sorry, guys.
hey Jacob, what do you think about this? Do you think that this would be, should they worry about Barbie? Should they let that influence their script? Because they've already been working on this for a second. Of course, it's been on the back burner because they've been working on Deadpool 3, but the ideas are definitely tossing back and forth. Should Barbie influence the script like this?
Yeah, actually it should. Because like Sabrina said, Freeguy actually did that concept of that type of film first and what it plays on. So if they want to make a sequel and they want it to be just as well received as the first one, which by the way, I agree with Lexi, it wasn't that great. However, I loved Barbie, best ending since 7. But I think with Freeguy, you should I think with Freeguy, they should be influenced by Barbie. And if anything,
that would be
I think
forever.
you should have Margot fucking Robbie show up in Freeguy as Barbie. 100%.
I don't hate that.
I think that'd be great. I mean, it'd be kind of fun too, a little, multiverse cross interaction. Rachel, what do you think about this? You like that idea? What do you think about Barbie influencing a Freeguy? Did you like Freeguy?
The Freeguy was mid. It was fine. It wasn't. I
was a
don't think it
movie.
needs a sequel. I don't think I want to watch it again. But it's something that I
It's
watched
fun.
and I didn't.
It's not.
I didn't.
You're
hate
Rachel and I
home
agree.
about it.
We have similar tastes in films. We agree.
Yeah, I mean, Jacob generally agree on films. Sometimes
Shocking.
Jacob has bad taste, but
It's true.
I mean, it's a good cast that should have been a better movie than it was. Is what kind of how I felt, because Taika Waititi is amazing. You've got the guy from Stranger Things. You've got Ryan Reynolds. Like, that should have been a winning combination. It shouldn't have been just mid. And I think that's kind of where I was disappointed.
You failed to mention the wonderful security guard best friend who cracked me up every time he came on the screen.
He was great. I just don't know that actor's name. I just named the people I know.
Yeah.
The dude
I don't
from
know
Get
his
Out.
name either.
He's so good at it. Yeah.
But I don't think a sequel is necessary. I think it's going to be a lot like Ready Player 2 or whatever sequel. It was completely unnecessary. Nobody asked for it. Nobody wanted it. Why are we doing it? Just because it made, again, we're just sucking at the teat of IP-ness. Like, we don't need to keep
Just
doing it.
Leave me.
Good combo, girl.
By the way, I love that you guys started the IP-ness. That's fantastic.
Woo!
The
Yeah,
IP is
At first, I thought you were
definitely alive
insulting
today.
my show, but then I realized you're talking about the IPs.
Freeguy WB, Ryan, just so you know.
20th
Yeah.
Century Studios distribution. So
But it was
But,
WB. Also, I'm sorry, go ahead, Rachel.
It was meh. I don't think it needs a meh sequel, because a sequel's never better. A sequel will never be better than what you were given in the first place. As for a Barbie sequel, let's explore that maybe.
they're going to. They will. I mean, they haven't said anything
Made
officially.
$1 billion.
Of course,
Let's
there
do
was
it.
the talk about the Ken spinoff happening, but I've heard that they're talking about Barbie too. But the thing is, like we talk about, Greta Gerwig actually is reattached to the Narnia movies for Netflix. She's doing at least 2 Narnia movies for
I
Netflix.
think she should drop those. She's
Well-
competent. She'll do them well, but I think they're unnecessary.
Listen,
But that-
I think we've all had enough of fucking Narnia.
I feel
Yeah,
like
we don't need
Taika-
more
We talked about this
flying.
before. It's a lot. I mean, but maybe because she did so well, because it's a big franchise. I think that it hasn't actually been like executed appropriately. I mean, it's worked okay, the ones that done before, but they haven't really nailed it. Maybe
I
Greta
would
can
just
nail
hate
it.
to see her shoehorned into what people would perceive as children's properties. Because
Oh,
Narnia is
then-
very much a younger audience. Barbie
Yeah.
can be considered a younger audience, even though the film wasn't made for a younger audience. People could see, like, I just don't want to see her shoehorned into that market when she's so talented.
Yeah, I
But
agree with
she's
the
already
Queen.
proven herself, and she did Lady Bird and Little Women, and like
Right.
she is already. I mean, that she hasn't made a
Feminist
bad
icon.
movie, like
Right.
100%, and she wrote Little Women and wrote Lady
Mm-hmm.
Bird solo. This she wrote with her husband or partner. I'm not sure if they're married or not, but I don't know. I just feel like she's already proven herself. So if she chose to go into this Narnia situation, I don't think it's going to
Right.
pigeonhole her. If
And
it did, it would be her
well,
choice.
I think we'll get more Ryan Reynolds regardless. Like, his career is so hot right now. So, like,
So
he
hot right
doesn't
now.
need to be in it. He can do
Gabriel
whatever.
Reynolds.
Yeah, he can. But I honestly would, I think Racer X was saying it too, with how much money Barbie's made right now, the highest grossing movie ever for WB. Of course, they're going to try to make more. They want to just ride on that wave. And, maybe they won't have Greta doing it. Maybe somebody else will step into the shoes of director if she's tied up because she can't do it. But honestly, it's only a matter of time until they officially announce this, because with that kind of money, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Just like all the freaking crazy fan casting has been happening for Deadpool 3. It's going to happen. They keep throwing more at us. So here's one more.
Yes, I'm ready for this.
Here's one
Yeah.
more. Here's one more, Sabrina. Here's one more. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool 3. They're saying Karl Urban's going to be there as Wolverine as well as a variant. That just started leaking online. And it's like, we already talked about Daniel Radcliffe like last week. I think it was like 2 days ago that Daniel Radcliffe's going to be there. Taron Egerton, they've been saying maybe. I mean, people be like, oh, Henry Cavill should be in there. That was a rumor going around for a second because people want to see Henry Cavill as Wolverine. People want to see, there was a Tom Hardy rumor going on for a long time that he would play Wolverine. These are all fan casts that have been happening for a long time. And Karl Urban has been one person that people have said he should be the next Wolverine before we even heard of Hugh Jackman coming back, before we knew about Deadpool 3 happening. So that, the idea is that what people are saying is this is just like John Krasinski's moment in Doctor Strange. It's going to be like, for the fans, we're giving them Karl Urban for just a second, just a quick little variant.
I guarantee it. He's yellow suit Wolverine. 100%.
But you already got Hugh Jackman
in yellow suit.
You already got him in the yellow suit.
Yeah,
Did you not see
it doesn't matter. They're going to show up and he's going to be yellow fucking suit Wolverine. It's going to be awesome. There's going to be two of them.
I mean, maybe the Daniel Radcliffe people wanted more, and Daniel Radcliffe is more like the size of him. But then it's also Harry Potter being Wolverine, which I don't know if can work. Maybe it can work. I like Daniel Radcliffe; he's great. I think
Daniel Radcliffe is tiny. Is Hugh Jackman also tiny?
No, Hugh Jackman's ginormous, but Wolverine is tiny.
Yeah, in the comics,
Wolverine is tiny.
Honestly,
okay.
Yeah. During the actual shooting of the X-Men movies, they actually were putting people on apple boxes next to Hugh Jackman, so he would seem shorter next to them. They were like worried about him being too tall because like you're perfect Wolverine, but you're too tall, and the fans are going nuts because you're too tall. Wolverine's supposed to be like 5 foot.
No one, everyone's in Deadpool 3.
Everyone's in Deadpool 3. That's what they're saying,
Regardless of who is actually in it, this is great publicity for the film.
100%.
Like, this is honestly just getting people talking about it, and regardless of who ends up being in it, it's just going to be good for the film to have people reminded of it. Yeah. And honestly, because they continued to work through the beginning of the writer's strike, this is going to cover up a lot of that press as well.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But
people can't stop talking about it.
Them to the table to be like, well, I guess we should start trying to make movies again. So let's negotiate. I'm all for this.
Jacob,
kind of press.
Jacob, do you think that he'll be in there though? Really?
Judge Dredd was awesome.
You think he's really going to be in there, Jacob? Out of all the variants, you think he's going to be there?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, and he is the best fucking Judge Dredd. I hope they continue to make more of that shit 10 years later. But yeah, I think he'd be fucking awesome as Wolverine. I love me some Karl Urban. I've been following his career for a long time. He's some fucking fan art. Badass. And I mean, he shows us that he belongs in a superhero universe anyway, because look at the fucking boys. Look how great that character is. And I can see him playing Wolverine. I can see him literally in a yellow suit with Hugh Jackman in a yellow suit, fucking mirroring and mimicking one another. Like, I can see that. It'd be fucking hilarious.
The funny thing is, though, is Karl Urban is just 4 years younger than Hugh Jackman. So if you're going for a younger Wolverine, he's not that much younger than him. So I think it would have to be like a one-off type deal.
4 years is a long.
Oh man, Hugh Jackman's going through a divorce. He's got a lot going on right now. Like, give the guy a break.
Give him a break. Sabrina,
giving a break too? What?
Hugh Jackman.
He's going through a divorce?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think it was announced earlier today. Him and his wife.
She couldn't handle his rock hard ass.
Is someone talking shit about Hugh Jackman? What do you mean give him a break? He doesn't need a break. He's amazing.
I thought they were like the person on the planet. I thought they were like super. They're super in love. Rachel, are you really telling me they're getting divorced?
It's some breaking news.
Breaking news. Breaking news? I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up because that's sad. No. That's sad to me if that's true.
Give it a real-time Google, Sabrina.
Hey. You know what that means, though, ladies? You know what that means? And gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, you all have a chance.
Hugh Jackman's on the market.
He is single. He's off the market.
There's a trick, everybody.
Oh, he's on the market.
Has been set free.
Yeah. I've been drinking this whole time. We talked for Ryan Reynolds for like 10 minutes. I thought we were supposed to drink the whole time.
No, well, good.
The whole time.
Chug. I'm sorry, we're not in college.
So
but-
Sabrina, you don't see Karl Urban being Wolverine or what?
But when we started watching The Boys, I literally called him Discount Wolverine all the time. Like, I don't know why. Like, it is so 100% spot on casting. Like, as far as I'm concerned, honestly. I do agree with Razor S. I wish we could get another Brad Pitt situation, but I'm pretty sure he died.
Is that the face morphed together?
Yes, it is.
It is? Wow, that's creepy. It also looks like
find-
there's a little bit of Frodo in
I have
there.
fun with my pictures.
Now we got Frodo cameoing in the movie.
I don't Ryan did a light Google for you. It's true they're getting divorced. That's unfortunate.
Dang.
Why do people in Hollywood get married? Very good question. Very good question.
Because they were married for almost 30 years.
There's a few people who do make it, but other people treat, a divorce like a breakup. They're like, oh, we've been together 5 years, great, it's time to break up. But like, oh, we'll just get a divorce. Like, I don't know. It's just the way people judge things. Like, it used to be like, a long time ago, like, divorce was a really bad thing. It's just become extremely acceptable. And it happens in more than half of marriages. So like, it just happens.
It just happens.
The real history, by the way, the real history of why people in Hollywood get married all the time is because in the 40s and 50s, a lot of gay actors had to get married as to not have their careers ruined because of bigotry and,
Right. Well, that's definitely not what's happening now. That's not why people are getting married.
I'm just saying, who knows?
Just in case you're curious. Of course.
That's why it's a thing, though.
That's not why Hugh Jackman got married, and that's not why Jonas and Sophie Turner got married, and that's not what
Hugh Jackman got married before he got really famous. I think
He did. Yeah, they've been together for a long time.
Was it Pierce Brosnan and his wife shitting on the lawn, the robber guy, like that?
Yeah, someone shit on his yard. We talked about that before. I'm so, I was so mad about that story. Someone just shit on his yard. A burglar shit in Pierce Brosnan's yard. Anyways, cheers to Hugh Jackman and his.
The middle clause. Good question.
It sucks you're going through whatever happened, Hugh. Whatever happened to you, our heart goes out to you because you are a fucking friend of the show.
He really is a friend of the show. Nicest person.
Listen, I don't think he's going to be hurting from this. I think he'll be fine.
I feel like I've said this before on the show, but he used to come in every Friday and give lotto tickets out to all of the crew and all of the cast and the directors.
Everybody gets middle class.
And like people, of course, the director won like 20 grand one time, and I was like, oh, it's so not nice. Like, why can't a poor person win like me? But like, it was super nice. Like, it was so sweet, so kind to everybody. I never saw him in a bad mood. I worked a whole show with him. He's an amazing person. So absolutely, my heart goes out to him. In regards to Butcher being Wolverine, fuck yes. Also Daniel Radcliffe, fuck yes. And shout out to
Elijah Wood. Why not?
Well,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Why not?
Jake
Gyllenhaal. What else?
Let's get a bunch of short kings in there.
Yeah, all the short kings.
But divorce is not. It's sad though. Like Wolverine going through divorce drives me nuts. It's just really sad because divorce is in the air because Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner have also gone through some divorce going on, everybody. So we've been talking about divorce. We might as well jump ahead to this one. But Joe Jonas filed for divorce. That's right, last week. And apparently who's that girl?
Jonas from the Jonas Brothers.
The Queen of the New, right? The Queen of the North.
Sophie Turner
from
damn.
Game of Thrones. Yep, Game of Thrones.
Respect on the Queen of the North.
But the Queen of the North is leaving the third Jonas. Oh, I should say the third Jonas is leaving the Queen of the North because he filed for divorce. And apparently they've been having problems.
Does he not know that the North were members? What's wrong with him?
I will tell you, Jacob. I will tell you.
Have eyeballs? Look at her.
We'll get into that. We'll get into it. Give him the facts first.
He's actually having to look up to her.
The facts that we know, and maybe this is still gossip. It's probably a little hot gossip, but apparently for the past 6 months, they've been having issues. The past 3 months, he's been on tour with his brothers, and they've been saying that he's been touring around with the girls too. They have a daughter who's 3 and a daughter who's 1. And after the second daughter was born, and they haven't even said what the second daughter's name is yet publicly, so we have no idea. But when the daughter was born, apparently they said, hey. Yeah, he's a Jonas brother. So they were saying that, when the second daughter was born, that maybe she would go along with the tour. And she's like, well, I'm going to go back to my acting career. Well, she went back to act in the UK. She was working on a crime series called Joan in the UK.
Right, you did, JR.
Yeah, he married way up.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but he was touring. She was shooting her show. This is what happens in Hollywood a lot of times. Different schedules, and that's what they're saying. It came down to it's just that they had just like the different lives. You know, she wanted to keep acting. He wanted her to tour. They were having problems for the past 3 months. Well, they were saying 6 months, 3 months. They were separate, but they had a nice picture apparently on Instagram in August, right before Labor Day. Then Labor Day weekend, shit went down. Apparently, his brother sat down with him and had an intervention and said, "You need to leave her." She was saying she was going to come back from the UK. They should work it out, but he filed for divorce. Now, this is a whole
fucking
thing.
pansy. Come on, commitment, bro. Get in there. Be a fucking man. And like,
but Jacob, he was saying they were. He was saying they were broken, Jacob.
What the hell, man?
I know, but he was saying they were broke. And here's the statement that after he said they were broke, they put a statement out. Here's what they said, a collective statement that after 4 wonderful years of marriage, we have mutually decided to amicably end our marriage. There are many speculative narratives as to why, but truly this is a united decision. And we sincerely hope that everyone can respect our wishes for privacy for us and our children.
When I think of these guys, I just think of South Park. That's all I think of.
Mickey Mouse coming down and tell him to wear the rings.
That's all I fucking think of.
His Millennium Falcon.
And you know what? All this shit right here, all this little bullshit, him being a little fucking man syndrome and not just having the understanding of what a commitment means and like, you know, talking to your wife and knowing that like, oh, you hit a bump in your road. You've been married for like what, maybe less than 5 years. You hit a little bump.
4 years. 4 years.
We can't do it. I have to walk away now. You fucking bitch.
Well, they were saying his brothers were saying he was very unhappy and they've been fighting for a while. And it's, you know, I think really what it comes down to in the lawyers. Yeah. Well, let me talk about the law too. Like, you know, they have a prenup. So for all of his money from all of his records and stuff, he's keeping all the rights for that. All of hers, she's keeping, and they're just separating the stuff they had when they got married. Like they just sold their house for $15 million in August.
You walk out with you walked in with, and anything you gain together, you split.
She's worth $10 million. He's worth 50.
If it turns out that she was actually like extremely abusive to him, I'll walk back everything I said about him.
She wasn't.
But it wasn't that. It wasn't that though, Jacob. It doesn't. It just sounds like it was a scheduling thing.
Like
a scheduling thing. Yeah. Okay.
The shit that he's been leaking out to the paparazzi is fucking disgusting. Yeah. And he really thought he was going to win this one. He was out there be like, she's such a bad mom. She's like neglectful to the kids.
He Amber Hearded her. He Amber Hearded her. That's fucked up. He pulled it in.
Amber Hearded her.
That's a thing, right? We say that now. That's a thing.
Sure, absolutely.
But he was the Amber.
That's what I'm saying. He Amber Hearded her.
But
she got Johnny
was basically
Depp
going around. She got postpartum depression after she had her kid, and he was talking shit about how she didn't want to go out and party because she was more of a homebody and had postpartum depression, and like. He just like really came at this like it was still when he was like actually popular and relevant back in like 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And culture has changed. So like he's really trying to attack her on all these things and he's just fucking losing. And it's just disgusting how he's acting. And like they have done, especially her, they have done such a good job to try and keep their kids' privacy intact.
Mm-hmm.
And last week he went out and had the paparazzi come take pictures of them with the kids.
Oh, that's messed up.
And like that is so fucked up. Because like
this video I'm watching is fucked up.
These kids deserve their privacy, and it's just ridiculous the way that he's using them to get good press.
Yeah, Rachel, that's not right though. I mean,
I'm sorry, Queen, that's fucked up.
Yeah, nobody needs to be hurted. But
no one needs to be hurted.
No, and I heard about that too, Rachel. It sounds like he was trying to blast her, and then she was trying to say. Apparently, people are. I mean, he said, she said what? I know she has said.
She said nothing.
She said nothing.
Yeah. She said nothing.
She has said nothing. But
listen,
but
say what
like
you will
an
about
insider.
Sabrina's love for royalty, but I will say this: that lady is a proper Brit.
The fuck is that to say about it?
I know you love British royalty, and I was saying
I don't love British royalty. I just respect people's fucking views and their institution.
She is a proper Brit.
I didn't sit up all night and watch the coronation. I respect people and what they believe.
She's handling this with grace and kindness, and I appreciate that from her. There's also something to be said about the fact that he got with her when she was 19.
Mm-hmm.
How old is he? Isn't he 19?
And he's like significantly older than her.
He's 32 right now, or no, 32 or 34, and she's 27.
He's like 10 years older than her.
Well, that's what happened. She aged out. I guess he forgot when you marry someone, they still get older. So that's what happened.
Right.
What? It's what happened. If he has an MO,
He's 34.
that's the
Not at this
34.
age. Not at this age.
34 and she's 27. But to put that stuff out there, well, the rumors going around was that she was upset though, and she was trying to reach out to him to be like, let's work this out. She's in the UK shooting. They had a rap party. They were trying to trash talk. She was at a rap party, like taking care of the kids, and she's out partying all night.
Painting her as a bad mom.
Yeah,
which
but
is so
that's
stupid.
She was
rap
doing her
parties.
job.
And
Because,
they
women
mutually
go-
agreed. But Rachel, they mutually agreed that she would go to do this project too, that it was
Right.
fine for her to go back to work. And then I guess he was upset. I mean, this is what happens again. I don't want to blame anybody, but people working in the entertainment industry, like rock stars, actors, whatever you are, the job is very demanding. The time away, sports players, a lot of times it's hard to have that connection and be together, and marriages fall apart. And that's the one thing they were trying to say as a collective, that,
generationally too, like we were mentioning with the last segment, like people just don't work on their relationships anymore. People just give up on their relationships.
Yep, and they move on. Like, that's it. Unfortunately.
They dated for 3 years before they got married. And then they got married. They've been married for 4 years, right?
4 years, yeah.
So, that's 7 years. That's actually a pretty decent run for a Hollywood couple. I don't appreciate, they have a 1-year-old, like a baby.
Yeah.
And the other one's 4? The other kid's 4?
3.
Is that correct? 3. Oh.
I think 3.
I mean, geez, like that's if things were going south and you have then why would you have another baby? I don't know. Not my problem. The point is, he basically tried to frame her as a bad mom by as Rachel said, like that he showed them having lunch somewhere like in public, like on purpose to make it seem like she was neglecting her duties as a mother. And let's be clear, they're both working people. She's in the UK overseas working on a show, which takes up between 12 and 18 hours a day of your time. He is on a tour, which takes up 5 hours of your time, and not every day.
Right.
So doesn't it stand that it would be logical for the father to have the children and take them on the road and go on tour with them? Because she is going to have a nanny watch the kids pretty much for the entire shoot, except for maybe for a few hours on a Saturday or Sunday after she wakes up from her exhausting week.
Yeah.
And that is what the entertainment industry is. So if you both choose to work, it's going to shift. Oh, I'm not doing any shows right now. I'll stay home with the kids. You're touring. Great. Good for you. They're both working. It makes sense that he would be with the kids and she would not be with the kids. It's absurd the way that people think sometimes.
I'm sure he thought that she was going to quit her career when they got married because he's
ridiculous. Because he's a Jonas brother.
He's with the Jonas Brothers. They have always focused on fundamentalist values. That was the whole purity ring thing. So
Yeah.
I'm sure as a fundamentalist, he thought she was going to stay home and be his little wifey.
Do you remember they roasted him and this was like way back when, and she basically was like mocking the purity ring, and she was like, well, he was sure he has a purity ring on, but he was definitely sticking his fingers inside his castmates. Like literally those words. And he married her. So I don't know how much about that purity ring that she let him know what she thought about that bullshit. Okay?
Right. But just
Jacob knows.
I'm not saying anything about the rings or anything, but coming from that fundamentalist culture, there's certain expectations they have of their wives. And she is a modern woman and didn't meet them. And now he's mad.
There's certain expectations.
Oh, what? He got
everyone.
with a real woman, a real human being?
Yeah.
Wow. He didn't know how to handle
Lexi,
that? What a
Brian,
fucking
drink.
turd.
Okay.
She put her
Right.
And Jacob also did it.
Did what?
Yep.
She
She
put
did.
her career on hold
Drink.
to have those kids when it was at its peak,
Drink.
right after Game of
It's
Thrones
true.
ended.
Yeah.
She put her career
Yeah.
on
And then
hold.
X-Men even though those movies
Those
didn't
movies
do as
do
well,
great.
like she was
Jean
front,
Grey was not, but it wasn't.
but she was still front and center for that Dark Phoenix
wasn't
shit.
successful.
Front and center, and who knows if it wasn't acquired by Disney, and they're still not working that out. They still haven't worked that out. We have no idea what X-Men are going to be coming. If the first class people will come in, they might come in, and she might be a part of that.
Deadpool, so look out for that.
You never know. They're all gonna be in Deadpool right now. Breaking news! Everybody's there. We're talking about she's in it. No, I mean we have no idea, but it's just sad because this is what happens in Hollywood a lot of times. And again, regardless of like how maybe like his idea of like we were saying, like maybe his idea with the whole purity rings and stuff like that is like the wife to be home. Who knows? Purity.
Gotta keep them feet pure.
Yes.
Awesome. But who knows, like behind closed doors, but people fall apart in Hollywood all the time. It just doesn't always work out because people's schedules go out of fucking whack. It's just what it is, you know? But one more time, Sabrina, throw some hearts out there. But Hollywood is going through some shit. I want to dive in a little bit more about this because I had an update. Apparently, WGA and SAG-AFTRA members they're actually dipping into their retirement funds right now in order to pay for their cost of living based off of the strike going on for so long. This is something that's happening. Economic hardship facing Hollywood's below the line people. We're talking about the painters, the prop people, the set deck people, the hair and makeup people. Everybody like below the line right now been tapping into their 401ks, or it's actually a part of the motion picture industry pension and health plans. So they're diving in that. They allow it one time through all time to like dive into this and take a percentage out. And the max is $20,000 you can take out of your pension. And people are diving into it. And apparently the minimum or the average, I should say, is about $15,000. But people are taking about $15,000 out of their retirement plans right now. And even then there's also and that's so many people that are doing it right now, Jacob. It's driving me nuts. They're talking about 44 million is being taken out of these plans right now. $44 million because of the strikes. Over 3,000 people have done this.
X, I see your comment and I kind of understand what you're saying, but I got to tell you, it's not smart. Because you got to think about it. These people don't have any fucking money right now, and they're trying to get through what's happening. Right. And so they're going to pull out of their money. It's their money. They put this away. It's no different than a fucking savings account. We just put a different name on it.
It is different.
It doesn't matter. It's no different. It really is no different than a savings account because it's there to access later. But right now they need it, so take it out and use it. Take your 20,000 if you got 20,000. And here's the thing: once the strike is over, they'll go back to work and get that shit back real quick. You need it now? Fucking use it. I'm glad they have access to shit like this. We need access to things like this. You're
confused about what you're saying because it actually, if you are not of retirement age, you have to pay 10% tax to the government and 2.5% tax to California state. So you're not only losing the money that you put into your retirement, but you have to pay a shit ton of tax on it. Well, so it's not smart. Maybe it's a necessity, but it's not smart.
Yeah.
And that's where I didn't finish, Sabrina. You're right, Sabrina. People that have invested for the retirement can also tap into this, like Sabrina said, but at the cost of a 2.5% penalty and 10% federal penalty. And on top of that, the money will actually be quartered to the federal government as ordinary income. So when you rate your taxes off, it's going to be ranked as ordinary income. So there'll also be tax on top of that too. So that's if you aren't actually invested, you can one time that's hitting you. And then people vested can also without a penalty like that. But again, it's dipping into the retirement fund.
You can't because the unions are on strike. In California, they're trying to pass a thing a law.
It's going to Newsom's desk now.
Yeah, if you are striking, that they'll still afford you unemployment, but because you are choosing not to work technically, even though it's not you specifically, you can't get unemployment. It's a whole thing. People who have filed before the strike started and things like that, that's a different thing. But if you are choosing not to work, the state doesn't give you aid essentially. Okay. You can get food stamps, but I'm not done. You can get food stamps and other aid, but you can't get as much money as you could if you lost work not due to your fault. And then also raise Rex, can't they apply for a loan? Sure, but when you have no money coming in, our requirement for a loan, unfortunately,
I don't have money coming in. You can't get a fucking loan.
All right. Let me just finish what I'm saying. If you have no money coming in, no one's going to approve you a loan to take out a bunch of money because how are you going to prove that you can pay that back? That's it's a basic thing. So it's unfortunate. It's shitty and literally you can't. A lot of people cannot collect unemployment.
They deny people.
Different unions can, but not writers and not actors because they're on strike.
They deny people. Before we go into comments, let me say one more thing. Rachel, go to you first. Before we go into that, I just want to say also there are funds. We talked about this in the show before. There's the Entertainment Community Fund. Mm-hmm. They've given out $6.5 million so far to 3,100 people. And there's also the Motion Picture and Television Fund. They're granting up to grants the $1,500 you can apply based off of your actual earnings. So the union, they're giving grants out for that. And there's also the SAG-AFTRA Foundation, and they're also giving grants out. And like we said before, Ryan Murphy is doing grants too. Ryan Murphy Productions /assist. You've worked for them before. So there are people giving grants out like this, and they're helping out. And there have been big celebrities that have given money into these that you can tap into. So if you're in these situations, please tap into them. We will actually list the links in this episode so you can see there are opportunities like that, but the federal government, if you say you're off because of the strike, they will not grant you unemployment. But it's going to Gavin. They've They voted across the board. It's going to Gavin Newsom's desk. So now he'll probably ratify it. And if he does, then everybody can actually apply it. But Rachel, what do you think about this situation?
To the point of saying that it's not smart to spend retirement funds and that you should take a loan out instead. You can't think about tomorrow when you can't pay for your housing today. So like people who are taking out of their retirement funds, they're not thinking about 20 years down the road because they're about to be homeless. So that's kind of a more pressing issue than what might happen later down the road. As far as loans go, loans oftentimes have higher interest rates than what you're going to pay for taxes with taking out of the retirement fund. So it's really a very bad idea to take out a loan when you don't have money to pay it back and when the interest rates are going to be higher than the option of taking out of your retirement fund. So just financially, that's a bad plan to take out a loan rather than take out some retirement funds.
I mean, I can get a loan right now from First Entertainment Credit Union at 8.9% instead of 12.5%.
And they were also, Sabrina, they were offering
the money away from you as opposed to, like you have to pay that next year when you do your taxes. And if the strike is not fixed, how are you going to get the money to pay that?
It will eventually be fixed, but yes, I know. But there's also a First Entertainment Credit Union who actually work for the actors, they're an actors union, they're an entertainment industry union. They've actually offered loans too, but they're saying like 0% interest for 3 months so that you can get the money now. It's like up to $5,000 to help you right now if you need that money too. So there is that opportunity.
So in LA, $5,000 is not going to cover your rent.
No, it's nothing.
Gas is $5.65 a gallon. Go fuck yourself. You know what I mean?
Ridiculous.
And I just want to say thank you for that clarification, Sabrina and Brian, for finishing what you guys were saying. I've been drinking, but I was under the impression that it was their personal like retirement fund, like it was just their shit they're dipping into. That sucks. I didn't realize it was like the overall
motion picture. It's everybody's fun. You know,
if you're of age of retirement, they don't charge you anything. So if you're over 65 or whatever the age of retirement is, then you can take it out. But if you're younger, correct.
Okay.
We also let people that under dive into it too.
That is iffy territory. So thank you for the clarification.
I mean, it's just
it's not a great choice.
Yeah, what you're saying
it's not a great choice, but if you're in that situation, Rachel, you're right. You know, you dive into it.
Not wrong either. There's a reason why they're doing that. Yeah, and I don't blame them for it. It just sucks that they're in that position.
I'm just saying, like what Racetrack said, it was not a smart choice, and like for your financial future, it's not. It's not. I get it.
Oh yeah, sorry, Racetrack. I clarify. You're right. It was not a smart choice.
Same thing that Rachel said though. Like if you're going to be living in your car tomorrow, then it's the smartest choice you have. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's just it's situational, and it depends on what situation that you're in.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what's not a smart choice, bringing your show back in the middle of the strike, but Bill Maher is still doing it. Bill Maher is bringing his show back in the middle of a strike, even though he's a WGA show, he's a WGA member. And this is where we get into us being upset about it, because I know people love Bill Maher. I get it. You love Bill Maher. I know people do. We did one video about Bill Maher. We got so much hate, and I get people love Bill Maher. I just want to say that right now. I get it. I understand. But if you are a member of the Writers Guild of America and your show is a Writers Guild of America show, now he's also SAG-AFTRA. He is. According to SAG-AFTRA, if you're a host, you can do your show. It's fine. But if it's a WGA show, you can't do your show. That's just what it is. Every late night talk show.
Bullshit coming out of his mouth that he fucking said about everything.
There is that, K. Jacob. There is that, but also there's the fact though that he's a WGA show and he's also a member of WGA. And if you're a member, you're not supposed to do anything except strike and picket against him. But Bill Maher is bringing his show back on September 22nd at 10 p.m. And here's what Bill Maher said about it. He said, "Real time is coming back. Unfortunately, sans writers or writing, it has been 5 months, and it's time to bring people back to work. The writers have important issues that I sympathize with and hope they are addressed to their satisfaction, but they are not the only people with issues, problems, and concerns. Despite some assistance from me, much of my staff is struggling mightily." That's what he said about it. And I get that. I mean, how many people are fucking suffering now? There are so many people. We're talking about vendors. We're talking about
the goddamn retirement fund. Everyone's
retirement fund. You guys get it. Everyone's suffering. WGA said this to him. WGA said, Bill Maher's decision to come back on air while his guild is on strike is disappointing. If he goes forward with this plan, he needs to honor more than just the spirit of the strike. Bill Maher is obligated as a WGA member to follow the strike rules and not perform any writing services.
It's difficult to imagine.
Right. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult to imagine how real time with Bill Maher can go forward without any violation of WGA strike rules taking place. WGA will be picketing the show because someone's got to write this. Someone's got to write this. I mean, I get it. Like, he's a stand-up comedian. He can probably, do some stand-up on the fly. But also, if you're a stand-up comedian, don't you usually write your jokes ahead of time?
You 100% do.
Yeah. Don't you usually write your this? Yes, he's funny.
The only proper way to do this is to do what Conan did in like 2008 or 2009, where he just sat in the studio doing nothing. Like, that's the only fucking way to do this. And Bill Maher's not going to do that because he's a stupid asshole.
Protest. It was really smart. And it was cool.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So like, he was still in production technically, so his people would get paid is the point. But like, he didn't produce content.
Yeah,
I want to say something before we dive in too deep. I want to say is one thing because there's a comment there, and the thing is, yes, talk about this other day about how Drew Barrymore is doing the same exact thing. Same exact thing. We talked about it, and Queen was actually on here when we talked about that. And yes, same thing. It's the same situation. We said during that show too.
She's not a member of the WGA though.
That's what I said. That's what I say. So we said before, who's next? Yeah. Who's next? Right? And here we go. This is next. It's not violating SAG-AFTRA, but it is violating WGA because SAG-AFTRA or variety shows is a different contract. So if you're a variety show,
was ratified, so she's within her right to be a host, just like they're within their right to shoot commercials.
Hence why we're here right now, because apparently we're not making money, but you know what I mean? But if we were, we'd be under a variety show. Variety show though. It's a different contract, different thing. It's live, it's off the cuff.
Shows are definitely
I don't agree. I'm just saying she is not violating her contract.
But
Bill Maher,
she actually isn't violating her contract. She's a different conversation than Bill Maher. Bill Maher is just straight up an asshole. Whether you like him or not, he's a fucking asshole. Period.
Well, the thing is, like, it's against
conversation, and I'm happy to discuss both.
Let's discuss it. But it's different than Drew Barrymore in a lot of ways because, again, like Jacob's saying, like, he's a member of WGA. He's a Writers Guild of America person. So as a member, you're on strike. You're not doing anything, and he's still going back to work. So that's the problem. And we're going to see more of this, right, Race Rex?
That's all he is.
We're going to see more of this.
Another show like the Jennifer Hudson.
I can't wait to see him write terrible fucking jokes, and people can finally go, "Wow, he's a shitty fucking comedian."
Well,
it's like, we're going to see that
staff of writers who
know how to make him look good.
He's fucking funny.
Well, Jacob, here's the problem. It doesn't matter because here's the problem. It's like he shouldn't be writing anything, and they're saying he's going to violate. They're going to pick it anyways because he will be writing your stand-up. You're right. You're right.
Has to.
Let's go around the table. Let's go. I know we had a few drinks. Let's go around the table. Let's go to Sabrina first. Sabrina, do you think this is a great career move, or do you think this is going to hurt Bill Maher down the line?
No. I mean, I don't think you can hurt Bill Maher down the line. He is, a machine. He makes a shit ton of money. He has his own podcast that makes a shit ton of money. Which, like, by the way, you're still working. Like, why don't you do that? And he makes this like, he's like, oh, I don't want the Kruse to like go. But what you're doing is counterproductive. Like, it's counterproductive. Honestly, like, for your one crew, great. They get to go back to work. But you're going to prolong the other people who are out of work from getting back to work because you're making the AMPTP money. You're making money for Warner Bros. Discovery because they own HBO Max, and that is where your contract is under. And also, you're not donating your salary to your writers or to the people who are not going to be involved on your show, which is also kind of shitty, which is what they're doing, on the podcast with Jimmy Kimmel and Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon and John Oliver. Like,
he said he gave them some assistance, he said.
Some assistance?
That's what he said.
They're doing a podcast and donating all the proceeds to their writers and their people. You know what I mean? And when Conan O'Brien did it, he gave all of the money also to his writers and shit. So, like, I mean, I don't know. You do you, bro. Like, I don't give a shit. I think he's a very funny person. I like him. However, I just feel like this is kind of shitty in the respect that you're first of all throwing your union under the bus. Second of all, you're throwing your writers under the bus. And third of all, you're making money for the people who you are fighting against personally. Like, it just seems like it's counter-fucking-productive.
Yeah, I agree,
Nick,
Sabrina.
what's up, bro?
What's up, Nick? Welcome to Cruise Control.
Martin made a statement that he was only doing the panel for his show. No monologue, no new rules. Correct. He's douchey, but he's only doing the panel. Yeah. It's 100% true. That was my next point, Nick. Thank you.
That's more, though. He didn't say that before, so he's double.
No, he did. He's not doing any of the things that, but also, he's also, whatever, going off the cuff and shit. So yeah, he's
Thanks,
not
Chris.
doing any of those written things. And to be fair, that's what I was gonna say. Like on the not the positive side, but on the side that's not super fucked up. He also is a very political show. He very rarely has actors on. It's mostly politicians and like, you know, Neil deGrasse Tyson and like, you know what I mean? He's not really like someone who interviews like stars. It's like rare that he does that. So like technically, I don't like what he's doing at all. I think it's fucked up. You're going against your own union. You're going against your own shit. However, you are adhering to the rules just like Drew fucking stupid Barrymore is, which is also shitty. He's sidestepping it in the right fucking way. Because he's not really even in the entertainment industry per se, aside from the fact that that's... And
his show doesn't have a journalism contract either. If he had a journalism contract, then it would be a different story.
Yeah, but he can now make it that. Because, I mean, not contract-wise, but he can basically make it like, you know, a Rachel Maddow fucking interview situation. Because he's not going to do, like Nick said, the new rules, the monologue, the death segment, all that shit. He's going to take that out. It's just going to be an interview. And most of his guests, historically, are rarely entertainment people, you know?
Which is good to get people their jobs back, but... You know,
it's one group of people.
Like Sabrina said, it's going to hurt them in the long run.
Yeah. It's going to hurt everyone else who's not working.
Let's go around and run the rest for our panel right now.
Drink already.
First of all, everybody take a drink. We're really fired up. So let's take a drink, everybody. One more drink. Yeah. Cheers, everybody. Happy fucking Friday.
Happy fucking Friday.
Thanks, Nick. Drink already. Yeah.
What's up?
Because I know Jacob's so fired up. I'm going to Rachel first. Rachel, what do you think about this? You think that Bill Maher's going to regret this and be, or do you think this is fine?
I think Bill Maher is a giant piece of shit. I haven't liked him for years. He's Islamophobic. He's homophobic. I don't know if he's homophobic. I can't say for certain on that one, but he's
definitely not homophobic.
He rides the line, doesn't he? That's questionable, and it's sad. If it's questionable, he is. I wouldn't be surprised. But he's sexist and Islamophobic for sure, and neither of those are 100%. Okay.
And I think the way he's going about this, he's just mad. He's mad he didn't get invited to go do the show with everyone else, that little podcast. He's butthurt that Joe Rogan's successful. I don't like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a piece of shit. I personally fucking hate the guy, but he's very successful. And Bill Maher's
very successful.
Because he has a very similar format to what Bill Maher does. And Bill Maher is offended that he's doing so well.
Excuse me.
So Bill Maher is just having his little man baby cry fest.
Always controversial.
He's been fucking Ann Coulter for too long, and now he's gone fucking right wing, and he's breaking the strike. Fuck him.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like,
hold on, Brian, really quick. I just want to make a comment. He has always been controversial, but it has always been like without a chip on his shoulder. Like I feel like he used to be very objectively real. Like, and I appreciate that.
He used to be
like that about him.
Controversial. Now he's like centrist, right wing controversial.
I don't care if you're left or right or whatever. And there's been many times where he has stuck up for a good point that has happened on the right, or you know what I mean. And that's not something that a lot of people who are left, they're leftists and they say leftists. A lot of people are right, they're right. It doesn't. But you should be able to call out, oh, the right did this, that was good, or the left did this, that was good. If that's not your party, that is what it should be. It shouldn't be party over people. It should be people over party.
No.
And like, I'm not trying to get into politics, but he has always been a little bit controversial, but I feel like he always used to call out the truth. This just feels a little bit like it's under my skin a little bit. I don't like
He's just a rich guy doing rich guy shit. Fuck him.
It just feels like he doesn't understand. Like, he doesn't remember. Like, it's like he's disconnected from like where he was when he was a kid or when he was younger. You know what I mean? When he first started off, because when he first started off, I feel like he would have been right there fighting with the WGA. And now it's just a different world for him. Yeah. But Jacob, because Jacob I know is so fired fucking up about this. Jacob, what do you think about this whole thing? Do you think that he's in the right to come back? Of course, people are hurting. We get that. We understand that. That's totally a thing that's happening. But do you think that's helping the cause as a large, or do you think that it's hurting the cause?
So I'm gonna open my beer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I want to do a quick shout out to Lexi, fellow podcaster, friend of mine, Cinema Demore. She said it right earlier. If Bill Maher was anything like he used to be, he would be out there right fucking now in the fucking picket line. If he was exactly who he said he was, a few years ago. I know people change over time, and unfortunately, he's changed. And you know what? I liked what Racer X was saying earlier, and I agree with you. But the problem is that he isn't really who he says he is. That's how I've always seen it. I grew up in the conservative fucking South. I've heard those AM radio fucking wild ass right wing people for my whole fucking life.
That's the comment you're talking about?
Now, yes.
Okay.
He follows the crowd. He goes his own way, right? He doesn't follow the crowd. That's what we thought. Because don't get me wrong, I used to think, oh, Bill Maher, who's this? Let me check him out. And I started watching him, and I started listening to him, and everything that came out of his fucking mouth was the exact same shit, just worded differently than the crazy motherfuckers from the right wing that I grew up listening to for 30 goddamn years.
I don't agree with that.
And that's okay. That's okay. It is my perspective. It's what I see based off the world I come from.
Of course.
Now, and I really do want to believe like Sabrina does. I really do want to agree with you because I want to believe that deep down he is better than this. But he's proven time and time again. And all it does to me is solidify that, well, I was right about the motherfucker. And that's okay. I saw it coming. And it's unfortunate for others that didn't. But it's great that we're seeing it now. But again, if he just did what he would have been doing back in the day, if he was really this guy who's controversial and does what he thinks is right, he'd be out there with us on the picket lines.
I don't think he does what he thinks is right. I think he does what he says, what his opinion is. It's not what's right. It's what's right to him. Which is everyone's entitled to their own fucking opinion.
I can respect that. Yeah,
that's why we're here.
I just don't agree with
Jacob's point is that Bill Maher is not
Racer
doing
X
what
is
he's
right.
historically said has been his position.
Yeah.
But
Right.
Because he stood up for this shit in the past, but now it's affecting him. It's actually affecting him.
It's
So
really
now
affecting me.
he changes his fucking tune, just like the
But-
crazy ass
but
fucking
it's not-
people I grew
But
up
it's
with.
the same thing.
It's not really affecting him. Okay, he's doing a podcast. He's making a shit ton of money. It's not affecting him personally. So this is how he feels, I guess. For
It is
whatever
affecting him
fucking reason.
personally. He can't do his goddamn
It's
show.
affecting his
I
Okay,
can't
but
do
he's
my
doing-
guys.
for one
He's so
second.
fucking hard.
For 1 second, though, I feel like for 1 second before I'm going to Sabrina next, but for 1 second, like I feel like what Racer X is saying, he wants to get his show, keep his show on the air, and I think that's a studio thing. I think the studios are probably putting pressure on him. Bill Maher is not listening, like he's not thinking about everybody else. I think he's taking the pressure from the studios. They probably say, "Get your ass on the air, or you're done." That could be something that came up, but maybe not. But I think there's probably pressure coming down on him. Sabrina, what do you think?
He has been renewed until 2024. So he has the rest of this season and next season that he has already been renewed for.
Then he should be on the goddamn picket
contract-
line.
Yeah, you can sit
his
back.
contract allows him to do his show for the rest of this year and for next year.
But
so
Sabrina,
that is not what it is.
do you think that maybe because they've been canceling some contracts, they've been canceling showrunner
But
contracts?
They cancel his contract. They go and still have to pay him. So why would he care? And he can go shop his
they-
show anywhere else.
They've been canceling everybody, or they've been
It
suspending.
doesn't matter. They still have to pay his contract.
They'd
Right?
suspend
I
it probably.
agree.
That's probably doesn't want.
They
Yeah,
still have to pay his contract.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
yeah.
Suspended or
I mean,
not, yeah. It's just like with wrestling. You still got to pay
Yeah.
the fucker.
Still gotta pay them.
I mean, he keeps so he is making contact he has his own podcast, which by the way, like on social media, when you have like a million
Own
followers,
box office.
like, he's making his own money. You know what I mean? So like he's already getting his opinions out there, still interviewing people. People are still coming on his show. So he's still not like he's still
worried about
he's-
losing relevancy. Because
he's
he's
been
losing
around
relevancy.
for so long. His show is still popular. There will always be an audience for him. He still tours religiously, doing stand up, which almost no
Religiously?
one does.
Religiously. Drink.
Nice.
Did I?
We got a
Drink.
drink. That's a pun.
Religiously.
No, I said religious because that's a movie he made.
Oh, I was
Oh.
like, wait, what? No,
Which is the reason why I decided, hey, I'll check this guy out. And then
Everybody
realized
out there,
it was
drink too.
cool.
Happy Friday.
Drink chose.
No, you said
Religious
everything
is
fine.
why
I
I
was
checked him out.
making
Okay,
a joke
so-
based on his project.
No, I'm sorry, I'm teasing. I really was like, did I fuck that up? I don't know, I'm not sure.
You're good.
So yeah, I just feel like he will always have an audience, and if his show were to go off HBO, he can get a show somewhere else. I don't think that's an issue. And also, like I said, he has this podcast. This big. I feel like you should be in solidarity with your people. Everyone has their own opinion, and everyone is allowed to express that opinion. Apparently, unless you're us on this show, because
There you
people
go,
got
Racer
very
X.
upset when we talked about Bill Maher last time. But
We
the
had
thing
some
is,
hate.
like,
We're getting more
Here's the
hate tonight. Don't worry about it. This video pops up later. It'll be hate. We love you so much. Watch
no
Cruise
such thing as
Control.
bad news, right? Or bad publicity.
No, bad publicity. I was gonna say, well,
Yeah, I
Don't
just
listen to the drunk redneck. I'm just over here having a good time.
but Jacob,
Drunk
I get
redneck
it.
making
Like
points.
here's why though. Here's why we're making points though, because it's affecting. Again, this show affects people. Hey, Jacob here. He works actually on set, or actually just doing locations, figuring out where we're going to go for a set. He's working day in and day out doing that, finding locations, locking that shit down. He started as a PA. He's worked on set for a long time. It affects him.
10 years.
It affects the business. That's why he's saying that, because it affects it. You know what I mean? Like for us, when we're working and we're going through this, it affects us because we look at where we're going into the future.
He doesn't really give a fuck about the
He doesn't
strike.
give a shit.
And the
He cares
people
about himself
that are
and
there,
his own career, and that's it.
the people that are there, Rachel, that have made it, like they should be helping people get there too.
Absolutely.
The next generation, helping them up, because they should understand where they came from and understand why we're fighting for what we're fighting for right now. And that's a whole thing. That's a whole bag of worms. And
He's
unfortunately,
been threatened for years because he's no longer been the left side speaking darling. People are starting to turn on him because his politics are shit. So, like someone else said before, he's a libertarian in disguise. And
I don't even care about his politics, though. I don't even care about his politics. I care about what's doing right.
Audience is starting to go away from him. So he's like clinging to whatever relevancy he has left.
I
agree
appreciate
with you,
somebody.
Rachel. And you know
I
what?
appreciate
Go ahead,
somebody who
Sabrina.
doesn't just go with the flow. So if you feel like something is not great for you, like I appreciate you saying that. Like I don't have to agree with everything he says. He's still fucking funny. You know what I mean? And he's
that
still
New Rules is funny.
New Rules is
Fine
always
humor.
funny. His monologue is sometimes funny. Like it's hit or miss. You know, as with every monologue for a late night show. Like I just, you know, I'm not trying to throw shade at his career. He's been very, very good at what he's done for a long time, and he's still, like I said, it's still hitting the pavement doing stand up all the time. He needs to be out and working. That's what he does.
And for the
Bill-
friends of the
Bill
show,
Maher is
he's
that
still looking
cool
pretty
fucking
good.
uncle
He's still
that-
looking good in his older age. Just saying.
Is he?
I'm putting that out there for people.
I wish I had that
He's on
hairline.
those sex
Listen,
parties
Bill
that he
Maher,
goes to.
Bill Maher is like that cool uncle that everyone has and everyone loves, and then you find out later he was a bit fucking touchy.
Oh,
Oh boy!
Wow.
Oh boy!
It is what it is.
that is not the opinion of the show. That is one person's opinion with pink neon lights in their
Bill
background.
Maher,
Just
enemy of
let's
the
be clear.
show.
I'm gonna
I
tell
would
you.
have gone with the casually racist uncle, but I don't.
I'm gonna tell
that
you, Rachel
too.
and Jacob. Someone that's casually Rachel. Someone that's casually. Okay. Somebody
I'm casually
that's
Rachel.
casually rapey and a little bit touchy is Dracula. I want to talk about the next Dracula movie coming forward because Jason Momoa.
Casually rapey?
I said rapey. He's a little rapey.
He's not wrong.
Dracula's
Dracula's
a little
a bit
rapey.
I
He's a
think you're
little
thinking of Bill Maher.
rapey.
Casually rapey.
But Jason Momoa is playing Dracula, everybody. Coming back to play a comedy version of Dracula. I don't know if they can beat Nick Cage as Renfield, because
No one
Renfield,
can beat
Nick Cage was
no,
so
the best.
fucking good to be
Fucking
Dracula.
best.
And Gary Oldman played Dracula again, and Bram Stoker's Dracula. So I mean, there's some big shoes to fill here. But he's coming in. It's a comedy version. It's written by Nicholas Stoller, who actually co-created the what's it called, Platonic on Apple TV Plus. So he co-created that, but he's gonna be directing this movie. It's coming forward, and you know, there's still no name for it. It's still very early in development, but you know, Jason Momoa signed on for it. And you know, it's comedy, and he's been doing more comedy. We're talking about the Minecraft movie he's doing, which is kind of awesome that he's doing that. We're talking
Wasn't
about
his
Animal
villain
Friends.
character in Fast like humorous? Wasn't that supposed to be
That
kind of
too.
comedic?
Yeah, he was. But I don't think he was supposed to be. I think he just brought that.
Funny. I heard he was.
Yeah,
great,
he was
so
great.
it's like, I can start doing Dracula in a humorous way. Fucking why not? A sexy, muscular Dracula. We always get the fucking came from the grave, skinny ass's bones.
Right, we get way
So it's like now we get
So
fucking
Jacob-
Momoa Dracula.
Jacob-
Yeah.
Pale ass.
So, okay. Jacob, you're down for the shirtless,
100.
sexy Dracula
Get Nick
taking
Cage.
his shirt
If
off
there
and walking
was-
through the
listen,
ocean.
if
You
there
want
was
that
ever-
shit?
If there was
Nick is
ever
too
to be a
busy.
shirtless Dracula, it's Jason fucking Momoa. Like, fuck yeah. Like, I'm 100% here for Aqua Dracula. What do we call it? Dracula?
Dracula.
Dracula? I don't know, but I'm here for it. I think it's fucking great. Aquabait. Yeah, thank you, Racer X. Aquabait.
there we
That's
go.
what we're talking about.
Aquabat.
Talking
I
Aquabait.
Bat. That's bat. It's bat.
Seriously,
It
though,
doesn't say
I
bait. It says
haven't
bat.
seen the new Fast and Furious movie, but I've seen the trailers, and I've
It's
heard
on
so
the
many
cock.
people talk about how
It's on the
like
cock.
entertaining as hell Momoa was as the villain. They were like, he's the villain, but you fucking like him. He's great. Yeah, perfect picture, right? I can see him doing Dracula. I mean, did we forget that the dude from 300? What's his fucking name? The
I love
big
bats
guy?
breathing in the water. Gerard
He
Butler?
played.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gerard Butler was Dracula in Wes Craven's Dracula 2000.
Thank you, Rachel.
What?
So now we have a character that's similar because it was like, oh, he's beefy and muscular, but he took the role seriously. Now you have a character who's taking the role comedically. I think it'll 100% fucking work, and he better have his goddamn t-shirt off.
Of course he will. What would he not?
hat on.
Sherlock.
What would he not have that T-shirt off? I mean, if he's
I think it's
Jason
in the
Momoa,
contract.
Yeah.
It's in the
Must be
contract.
naked.
In the
it's
contract.
perfect.
I wanna
Must
see
be
from
naked,
I wanna see the
Momoa.
pube stashing up. That's what I want to fucking see.
Momoa boobs. We want Momoa boobs left and right.
Oh,
We
Momoa
want him
boobs
there,
left and
large and
right.
in charge. Yeah.
Did I do that already? Sorry.
Well, yeah, it was a
Friday.
bats be there. What, Sabrina? Do you think that Jason Momoa would be a good Dracula? Can you see it happening? Does it make sense to you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I like Jason Momoa. I think he's fun. I thought he was the best part of the most recent Fast and the Furious franchise, which is largely shit. So yeah, I don't know. I like him. I like him a lot, and I'm interested in seeing what he does. I think he brings his own take to characters, all characters. I like his take on Aquaman, which is, you know, really honestly to be happy with a fish fucking superhero. You probably doing a good job. All right, drink everybody. Lexi has requested.
Woo!
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, she said Fast and Furious. She's right. She knows
Oh, she's
the
right.
rules.
She knows the rules.
Oh, new viewers.
broke
If
a
you
rule.
mention Fast and the
Oh yeah,
Furious,
I brought
Ryan Reynolds, if we do an impression, those are all drink-worthy things. You have to tell us to drink, or we should do it on our own, but we forget. So you have to
We always
remind
forget.
us.
I usually put it up,
no
but
Fast and Furious puns,
Yeah,
impressions.
yeah.
Ryan, yeah.
Ryan
Continue,
Reynolds.
Sabrina, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you didn't come here. I was so excited by Lexi being correct about stuff. I loved.
Yes,
I
queen.
loved-
Yes.
I think this is hilarious,
I would love
and I kind of love it at first. I'm gonna say it first sip because I'm going drink to that. By the way,
Yeah.
I feel like this is good. It's fun. It'll probably be fun. He has a history of being a fun person on film. I mean, aside from that Sea show, which was extremely intense.
I haven't watched it. I want to watch it still.
It's very intense. But I
Me too.
don't know. I feel like he brings a fun levity like
Right.
Nick Cage did in Renfield.
Why is this picture
Totally
like
watched
fucking
Renfield. I
wrestling?
loved it. Did you like it?
Renfield's so good.
Tell me if you liked
Renfield's
it. 'Cause I loved
amazing.
it.
There's nothing better than
You watch it on
exploding
the cock.
gore. And Nick Cage's greatest fucking role ever. He is the absolute best Dracula.
How about
And
Nicholas
Easter
Hoult?
eggs,
Nicholas
he
Hoult was
played
amazing.
every single fucking version of Dracula that was ever fucking created for the silver
But
screen.
by the way, Jacob, it's still not your turn.
You missed out.
Just in case you were curious, it's still not your turn.
I am sorry.
Yes, it was very.
Tell us how you really feel, Sabrina.
But I mean, that's not how I couldn't tell you how I really feel because Jacob came in hot. I'm like, I don't know what's happening right now.
The
He's
floor
going
is all
last
yours,
now 'cause of
Madam
that.
President.
Screaming, yelling. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like, I don't even know what I'm saying. But the floor gets taken away from me every time I try to make a fucking point. Nick, where are you? Are you keeping notes? Where's Minutes Todd? I need to know.
Minutes time says keep going. Keep going.
There's no clock on Drunk Friday.
So there is a
There's
clock.
a clock. You can't go over 2
hours. We're hitting the precipice.
Sabrina,
You
keep
know what?
going.
I'm gonna pretend that this question's over. I'm gonna answer this question. Racer X, did you see that movie? Because I feel like it was not great. I feel like there
Which
was
movie?
a lot of questionable things.
Oh.
The Final Voyage of
Oh,
Madeleine.
yeah, we watched that. Yeah, I mean, I feel like
I was excited for it. I wanted to see it, but I feel like it was just like there were so many things that everyone could have done to
look at that
prevent
hair.
the
Let it fly,
inevitable.
Rachel.
And then like the letting it, I don't want to spoil it for too many people because I know a lot of people probably haven't seen it. But like I wanted more and I was excited for it and I just feel like it was not amazing. It could have been way better.
Dracula.
You know, and the unleashing,
on
I was like, it could have 100% been avoided the way that they shot it. They should have shot it in a better way that we wouldn't have been, that it would have been a surprise if it was still happening. But it was not a surprise. It was not around the theaters very long.
Yeah.
You're correct. But we happen to have something like Regal Unlimited, so I go see literally everything that comes out, which is, brutally annoying to me when it sucks, but also kind of amazing when things are good. So there's that. Nick's gonna watch it tonight.
Watch it, check it out.
Yeah, do it.
Well, let's go to Rachel here fast. Rachel, do you think that Vampire Man will be good? What do you think? That he'll be a great Dracula? Do you think that he's gonna kill it, or do you think that maybe he's reaching too far?
You
know what? Honestly, I like it. I like that they're going a different direction with Dracula. We've gotten, like Jacob said, the skinny little twink out of the grave Dracula too much. And I think it might be refreshing to have
twink
hot Dracula. Dracula's kind of a sexy character. Dracula should be a sexy character.
I like that.
So let's do
Vampa Man. I like that.
For the record, Dracula's supposed to be super bisexual.
So
with Jason Momoa, that's the best way to draw in everyone. Everyone. I'm straight and I'm attracted to that motherfucker. Like, come on. Everyone loves Momoa. Take that shirt off, motherfucker.
Let's just get hot Dracula and do it up. That's my whole opinion on it. I think.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree.
There you go.
Let's get hot.
Rachel's down for hot Dracula.
I do want to mention that Nick Cage,
Interview the Vampire.
Nick Cage did a great job.
Let's interview the Vampire. That's what we're talking about. You're talking about that kind of world.
Interview with a vampire, hot Dracula. Dracula should be hot.
You're right. That was the hottest Dracula vampire shit of all time. Was Interview with a Vampire. There's no way you
there was
can
no
top that.
Dracula though. There was
Jason
for a moment.
Still vampires. Still vampires.
Jacob.
No one can top fucking Tom Cruise and
I
Brad
don't understand how we
Antonio, goddamn.
Show me the money.
Woo! Show me the money.
Tom Cruise, friend of the show. I'm just saying, friend of the show.
Friend of the show. Let's drink.
Again, I work for Tom Cruise, fucking friend of the show. That's all I can say. Top Gun Maverick, fucking friend of the show. I loved him. He's so cool. So cool.
Oh, Queen, you're my
intense as motherfucking Queen. He was a fucking intense.
Nice dude.
So great. Like literally, what don't you know about?
Jacob, tell me right now. Do you want to see this? You want to see Samoa? I would say Samoa Joe. Jason Momoa playing
Aquaman.
Vampires, playing fucking Dracula. And can he kill it? Can he get those fangs right? What do you think?
Alex, what is fuck yes? Yes. And I want that shirtless fucking contract. It better be in the goddamn contract. Listen here, AMPTP, while you're doing these negotiations, that better be in the goddamn contract as well. Momoa, shirtless, every movie. Let's fucking roll.
I'm pretty sure he has fulfilled that contract without it being in paper. I don't think I've ever seen him with his clothes on. I'm sure he is. He's making a pretty good fucking wage. No, he doesn't have a problem with the strike, by the way.
I gotta tell you though, I'm feeling some Momoa right now. There's a lot more Momoa in the air because something came out, everybody. Something came out, and I gotta talk about it. And that leads me to our featured story of the night.
1 hour and a half in, we made it.
I want to talk about Momoa. I want to talk about, of course, Aquaman. Right. So the new trailer came out for Aquaman, and I thought it would be only appropriate to talk about it as our feature story because, of course, the DCEU, as we always talk about, is fucking done. It's over with. James Gunn, Peter Safran came in, and they're running it now, and everything else just doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. It really doesn't, everybody. Batfleck was actually involved with this movie, and now he's cut out. Because he's fucking great. But the Batfleck was part of this. And then Batfleck was taken out. But on the IMDb page still, it shows Batfleck is number 2 on the call sheet, which is kind of weird because he's apparently cut out of the movie. But, they're coming back. James Wan out of the hospital. He fucking killed it for this. I'm really excited about it. The trailer came out. I want to talk about it. But the thing is, this comes out in December. It was the longest ever. Longest ever wait for a trailer for a DCEU movie, for a superhero movie. Normally they come out months before this first official final trailer came out now, and the movie comes out in 2 months. Like, that's insane. It never happens that way. But it's the longest ever we waited for. This is a buddy comedy, regardless of what Amber Heard said earlier, because James Wan actually said it's always been a buddy comedy. And Amber Heard was like, well, they had to rewrite it because of me, because, the whole Johnny thing, all that. So they had to rewrite it. That's bullshit, girl.
My dog stepped on a bee.
It's all bullshit because as they said before, it was always supposed to be buddy comedy. James Wan came out, had a whole thing saying that there's also a lot of reshoots apparently, but James Wan said everybody's going crazy. People are like, oh, here's what he said. Oh, they're doing a whole bunch of different reshoots. And he said, no, we were actually combined all of them together. It's less than a few days. It's just people's schedules were all over the place. So they had to, shoot this time and then shoot that time and then shoot that time. And that's what happens with scheduling. Just like when I shot Ant-Man Quantumania, Paul Rudd wasn't available all the time. They used me, a different story, because he wasn't available. Then they worked it out. That's how it goes with these big DCEU Marvel movies. That's how it goes. So that happened with this. And James Wan said, hey, everybody, because they asked him, everybody's been asking about this. Well, did you cut Amber Heard out? And he said, no. The first movie was always supposed to be about Arthur and Mara, like their relationship. And the next one was about him and his brother, Arthur and his brother, coming together to do a buddy comedy. And that's what this is. And so that's what we're getting. So the trailer finally dropped. I mean, this comes out, what's this, December 20th? They spent $205 million on this. The original is the highest grossing DCEU project still to this date. It made $1.148 billion. That's a lot of money. And hopefully this one does as well. But unfortunately, the way things are going, I feel like they're going to let it fucking follow the curve. But let's watch the trailer. Let's talk about it. Here's the trailer for Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom.
Excuse me.
4 years ago, I was basically unemployed.
Yeah, like me, motherfucker.
A wanderer with no home. But now, I'm a husband and a father. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't know how you did it, Pops. My job was a little less stressful than yours. Oh yeah, I finally got a job. I'm the king of Atlantis.
It's great. It's the greatest trailer.
500 million people from every known species in the sea call this place home. But that doesn't mean they all like me. I'm gonna kill Aquaman and destroy everything he holds dear.
Like Manta.
I'm gonna murder his family.
It is!
And burn his kingdom to ash.
What? Oh, it was great! Thank you, James Wan.
He must be stopped, or a global meltdown is imminent.
Fuck yeah, Boba Fett.
I think I know someone might be able to help us.
Momoa makes...
That was fucking Conjuring. Patrick Wilson.
Do not call me brother.
Smeagol.
I cannot believe you let this happen.
Yeah, well, I hate this job.
True king builds bridges, right?
True king builds
Fish out
bridges.
of water.
We need to find Manta.
He's different now. He's stronger than before.
It's the Black Trident. During King Atlan's time, there were 7 kingdoms. And the Trident was a curse upon them all.
The Trident's dark magic is spreading.
He means to end the bloodline.
I don't know what lies ahead, but we can't leave our children a world without hope.
You're not as bad at this as you think. If you lead, the 7 kingdoms will follow.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be just as good as Flash, right?
Lost Kingdom.
Yes. Oh, I'm here for it. Oh, I'm here for it. 100%.
So I'm a
sucker for
the new
Wanda
trailer.
Momoa. We've established this.
Brian's the body of all the super. Maybe they scanned me, so maybe I am. I mean,
Look, apparently Ryan agrees. Apparently Ryan
All those
agrees.
hilarious things.
They didn't scan me, so you never know if they want some scrawny, tiny fucking person they got me. Anyways, everybody. So the trailer came out for this. Again, it's like the longest wait for a trailer for something that's coming out right now. Comes out December 20th. It's not that far away. Very first trailer. Normally you get like a second or a third trailer at this point, but we waited for a long time for this. Are we surprised about this? Does it look fucking good? Are we excited? Rachel, what do you think?
I'm so sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I just want to address the comments because I can't. It's my job and I can't keep up with them. So I just would like to really quickly, and this is not my opinion. We're gonna address the few things in the comment.
Yeah, of course.
So Razor X was like, isn't doing reshoots a good thing?
Yeah, always is.
And then my lady,
it's built into their productions these days.
Queen Glamazona. God damn it, I fucked it up. Glamazona. Is that right?
I
fucked it up. You have to tell me.
Yeah, she's awesome. Thank you for joining us on Cruise Control.
I don't know why. So she basically was like, I think a reshoot, means something is wrong with the movie and they fix it. So basically, to answer both of those questions, like it's a combination, right? So if it's something that they didn't like or something in editing or a shot that they missed a shot of, like maybe they wanted a giant wide shot of the scene that they only had close-ups or cowboys or whatever. Like, so a reshoot doesn't necessarily mean that something was wrong, like in the story or anything like that. It just means that they are trying to reestablish or cover a scene in a better way or a different way, or they missed something in the first thing. Or a lot of times, by the way, writer strike fucking informed, maybe, just maybe, they're going to change the dialogue. And so then the writer's like, oh, let's just make this the dialogue. Let's make that, you know what I mean? So it's a combination of the two things, but also, it evolves over time. And reshoots are very, very common on most projects, period. But especially these very big budget Hollywood movies. Okay, move on.
Well, they factor it always in because what's happened for years is that people will shoot a movie. I mean, they do test audiences always. And there's certain people that go there that are kind of built into the Marvel, the DC universe. Or it's pretty much every studio. Every studio has their test audiences. They bring them in and then they watch it. And then another audience comes in, they get feedback, they get notes. And it's very pivotal to help them know what jokes are hitting. It's the same thing like sitcoms. Sitcoms have the same thing where the writers come in, they do that. What's up, Strange Kurt? Does anyone even care anymore since DC is being rebooted a couple times? That's a big part of this. So
I don't give a shit.
Like Strange Kurt.
Reboot it.
I'm going to say before we dive into this, so you're like, great. But here's what happens is that's the reason this is coming out and it looks like a great trailer. And I fucking love the first movie. We actually watched it last night because we knew we were going to talk about this tonight. Love the first movie. But the thing is,
the movie goes, it was really good.
The thing is The Flash came out and everyone didn't see it between Ezra, they know everybody's rebooting this shit. That's why no one, I mean, they're saying it's going to bomb. People they're already speculating based off pre-sales. Pre-sales even open based off the
I feel like that's going to be
early pre-sales.
It's not attached to the franchise because the first film did so well.
That's drama on top of the fact that people know this doesn't go anywhere. And so we already know, even if it's a fucking great movie, and it probably will not make $1 billion like the first one did.
It probably won't. It's a very good point. That's another strike against it because people are like, same thing with the Flash. They're like, okay, that's rebooting. Nobody cares. Because it's not going to carry forward. And I think that if they would have held that press conference, with him saying oh, none of this is going to fucking matter. It's going to be the new universe instead of Elseworld or whatever the fuck. It just seems like it was counterproductive, honestly. So I think it's unfortunate for these, franchises that were not franchises, but these
look at
films that were already, happening in progress and that all this work went into, because I feel like there are a lot of people, Strange Kurt, that do feel that way. I am still going to watch it because I think he did a great job as Aquaman in the first film. I think Nicole Kidman was spectacular. Willem Dafoe was great. Patrick Wilson was great. A little annoying, but great. And it was just, I don't know. Boba Fett, by the way, amazing. I wish I knew that man's name because I really do. He's a star.
Taron or something like that.
Yeah, something
Taron.
Some fancy
that
I can't say. So yeah, it's just I do agree. Also, 5 years between movies is absolutely too long. But you have to put in consideration that there was a pandemic. There was a pandemic in between there where we couldn't work, we couldn't shoot, we couldn't do anything.
And now there's a strike.
They push
Because
this.
they use a room with someone.
They've also pushed
So,
this based off of.
It's super unfortunate, honestly. Like in that case,
They push it because of like rebranding, changing. You know what I mean? They've actually they shot something with Ben Affleck in the credits, and they cut that out. Apparently, that was supposed to tie into the next universe thing. So that's a problem. Honestly, what they should have never done, they should have never announced James Gunn's reboot until after these movies
Correct.
came out.
Correct.
And I was gonna say the same thing because the whole fucking
Correct.
summer has been DC
That's what I'm
movies.
saying.
And
They
it's like,
could've
dude, why are you
silently
releasing
cast.
6 fucking DC movies and then telling us like,
Yeah,
by the way,
but
all
they've
this
all
shit,
bombed.
Yeah,
forget
fuck yeah.
about it.
They
Back
all
Keaton's awesome.
bombed. And
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't hate the Flash, and I watched the Flash exactly for the same reason. Like that, with Michael Keaton was in it, and he fucking did not disappoint. It
That's
was
the only reason
he
I wanna
was
watch that movie.
amazing.
Yeah,
he was
that's
amazing.
Beyond
I'm so
that,
excited to see it
And
because of
I know
that.
it's unpopular. I liked Batfleck too. I think that Ezra Miller, like, it really doing double time as an actor and playing 2 parts is a lot, you know. And I think he did a good job. But Michael Keaton was the star of that movie. He didn't miss a fucking step. He was still the same old Batman that we loved from the 80s. It was amazing.
awesome.
Our Batman, Sabrina. He's ours. Yes.
He is our Batman. He is our
Be-
Batman.
before we
I
dive
love what
in-
you're saying. Hold on.
Before we dive in, drink. Everybody drink. Everybody drink before we dive in. We got to drink. It's Friday.
This whole fucking time.
Of course, but sometimes you have to be commanded to drink, and that's what
Yep,
happens.
that's what it is.
I love it.
Also,
That's why I
yes,
come here.
yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Jacob,
Yeah,
go
he
into
does.
it. Do you think that this is a good trailer? Do you think it will be successful regardless of all of the we're done with this universe? Do you think that this will still make money, and will Jason Momoa continue based off of this?
My opinion is very unpopular because I have a very unique taste. So will it make money? Yeah, it'll make my fucking money. Is it a great trailer? Yes, I think it's fucking great. Do I love it? Yeah. Did you hear my comments during the fucking trailer? It's awesome. I'm excited for this. But you know what? Going back up to that whole like all summer long, there have been a ton of DC movies released. Yet at the beginning of the summer, before like 6 of these fucking movies came out, we knew my boy James Gunn was rebooting the whole universe and making it right, making it better.
My boy.
Better future for us. I'm so excited about that. However, I'm a little upset because I haven't seen Flash yet, and I hear the greatest things about Michael Keaton. That's the only reason why I want to watch it. I'm
It's amazing.
Matt
excited
Keaton.
to watch it because of that. But there was a whole Batgirl movie that had Michael Keaton all up in that shit, and it got completely scrapped and turned in for tax purposes. So why didn't they just do that with the rest of these movies instead of fucking cock teasing us for shit that will never get a sequel? And here's another thing. I haven't heard anything negative from James Gunn about Momoa not being Aquaman. I mean, he's
No, he didn't. He has not.
He actually
So,
said that he would
you know,
continue.
I think with this movie,
But he didn't
it's up
say
in
we
the
could
air.
see
But we also didn't
Aquaman.
hear anything about Beetle. The Beetle. We didn't hear anything about the Beetle if it's going to be scrapped or not.
Blue
And I heard
Beetle,
a lot
yeah.
of good things from people. It's actually
you
a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag.
No, you
You
don't.
lose
You're
Rachel?
any good things. That movie sucks.
But yeah, so who knows what's going to happen with it? But yeah, they'll definitely make my money, and they'll definitely have me being a fan. But that's not much.
Yeah, it's a lot. Rachel, what do you think? Because let's go the opposite spectrum. Rachel, you see this? I saw your face. Do you think this is going to do well, or do you think that this DC
He took
universe
his
is
shirt off,
done?
Rachel. He took his shirt off.
I think it's such a shame that this movie will not do well because
Yeah.
it looks really good. I don't think it's the
Yeah.
movie's fault that it's going to do bad.
Oh
movie
no,
looks
the movie
excellent.
was made by James
It's-
Wan. He never disappoints.
It's going to be great. Like other people have said, because they
Yes,
because they
love that video.
already-
Ryan, you are so rude.
You're
You're
the
trying
best.
to break everyone's concentration. It's not nice.
It's perfect. It's
Be-
perfect.
because
Look
they
at that.
announced-
Look at those dancing pecs, Rachel. Look at them.
the nipples are
Don't
just
make
going
me
everywhere.
laugh. He's coughing and saying, "Don't make me laugh." When he put that up next to you, that is fucked up. Fuck you, Brian.
little pinch.
Yeah, give him a
Because
pinch.
they've already announced that this is a dead franchise. Basically, this movie's going to bomb.
He did.
So that sucks, and it sucks that things are that way because a movie shouldn't have to have a promise of a sequel to do well. You shouldn't need more. You should just say, "Hey, this was a really good movie."
Yeah.
And you know what? You're
but
right,
if it
Rachel.
gets
There's a lot
more,
of deterrent
that's
because it was
cool.
announced that it was not.
If I can just like touch on the Marvel model of
Yeah,
superhero dumb, if you will,
It's-
like not DUM but DOM. You know,
Super-
DUMB. Sorry, not DUMB, not but DOM. Like the superhero dumb. Like there is this new thing, which they do in Star Wars and they do in all the Marvel shit, and that they're starting to do in DC, where it is all fucking connected.
Right.
It's just
Which
it's
is
all
it's
connected.
good and bad at the same
Strange
time.
Kurt.
Because
before we dive
this is
in,
the way that it's bad, because this movie is going to fail no matter how good it is.
Yeah, it did.
I know.
And the way it's good is
did.
that you get like really connected
It did.
universes, and that's fun.
We have a comment though. I want to talk about very fast here. What Strange Kurt said. Didn't James Gunn say Blue Beetle is the character in the universe? He did say that.
did.
That was before it came out, and he's been pretty quiet about the reception of it. But he did say. It did. Well, no, again, and that's but the Strange Kurt again. The problem is that you said this universe was
Problem is
dead.
he didn't direct it.
Right.
And this was a CW movie. I call it CW because it was supposed to go right to streaming, and that's my mind goes. But it was going to HBO
There's
Max.
nothing wrong with that. The best DC comes from
Yeah.
CW.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. But then they went to theaters. So again, it was one of those things with Blue Beetle. With this too, it's like it affects everybody. Rachel,
The best DC comes from animation, Jacob.
It
Yeah,
comes from
true.
the
You're right.
CW. If you haven't watched the CW DC universe, you haven't.
Okay,
lived.
I know the animation is so much,
I'm
much
gonna
better
call a
though.
hard pass
I will
for
say
you right
that
now. I'm gonna
that
call a
Flash
hard
movie
pass.
is so good.
Gross, Jacob. Thank you. Horrible.
You're welcome.
The DC,
Lexi's like, no.
the CW is laughable for every
The CW
aspect.
There's some good.
Especially, no,
There is some
nothing's
good.
Nothing's good. It's for One Tree Hill. Was that good? Like,
I
there
said
you
the
go.
DC
DC
universe
Everything on the
NCW
CW is
shows are
a
the
pile
same.
of shit.
That's
to
like
ever
all
happen.
the
A
DC.
pile of
Their
shit.
DC
Whether
shows
it's a
are
series-
One Tree Hill with Batman.
One Tree
in it.
Hill. Correct. One Tree
Gobble
Hill with
that shit up
costumes.
with a
They're like,
bendy
it's
straw.
Halloween every year on One Tree Hill. Like, honestly, fuck off.
Love it.
I'm talking about the DC CW though.
On the CW, I did like Gossip Girl. I will give it Gossip Girl, but that
Gossip
is
Girl was on
That's not
Yes,
CW.
Tim.
DC. Is Gossip Girl?
No,
DC?
no, no.
That's not
no, it's not
DC.
DC.
Was it
It's
on the
CW.
CW? It was?
Yeah, wasn't it?
Well, they spent, no, I don't think so.
But-
They spent a lot of money. I worked on that show. There's no
I
way
like
that
Gossip
that
Girl.
was on
Good show.
CW.
Love
Rachel,
Gossip
do
Girl.
you think? Do you think?
The OC?
Rachel, do you think though that this trailer does so
Yes,
well?
the
and people,
OC was
it's like
underrated.
millions of people watch this trailer.
great.
Rachel, do you think it's different?
Was it on the CW? Was it on the CW?
Let me just ask Rachel one thing.
Okay, sorry.
Let me ask Rachel, do
hear
you
you,
think this
Brian.
is different because it is Jason Momoa? Do you think it is different? The first made $1.148 billion. Do you think that maybe, just maybe, regardless of all the drama, that people will go out and watch this movie?
I
Yes,
think
me.
between-
I already said I'm going to watch it.
between
No one
the-
asked you.
between
Rachel's
the
turn.
universe being dead and the Amber Heard of it all, I think it's just there's too much working against it for it to be getting what it deserves. So I think it'll still do moderately well. It'll do better than The Flash, but it won't do as well as it should have.
That sucks though too because it looks like a great trailer. Sabrina, of course, you're very opinionated on this. What do you think? Do you because you love the first movie, right? You love the first movie.
Love is a strong word.
No,
I
you-
liked it.
yeah. I mean, when we watch movies, you seriously like this movie more than.
You want to Okay, Jacob, you're really on my last nerve, buddy. I need you to rein it in.
Do you think though, Sabrina, that regardless, the trailer looks good, right? It looks good. I mean, that's what I think.
I love it. You know what I love the most about the trailer?
What's that?
Mira's not in it. Like she's in there for 1 second, she slams on a thing, and I'm like, yay! I don't understand how you come up with like a buddy comedy situation where like you put your brother in jail like at the end of the last movie, and like then they're like all of a sudden BFFs, and he's like, I don't know, it's weird. Also, I want to address really quickly that Nick said that CW superhero shows are like live action McDonald's toys.
I actually agree with that. He's not
100%.
There's Mira. There's Amber Heard, her in her bubble.
100. Yeah, that's the 1 second you see this bitch who I would like to banish from the planet.
That's actually an
but-
appropriate picture of her.
Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, I don't really know what that means, but so yeah, that was the greatest thing about this trailer. It just seemed weird to me that like they're making it a weird buddy comedy situation. You know, I'm super glad she's not going to be super in it because of things. I'm absolutely going to see it. Correct. As Razor X and Queen Glamazona said. Also, let's see what this is. What's happening? I gave up somewhere into. Okay, they're talking about. They're talking about a separate thing with them. Yeah. So no, I don't know. I will see it. It was a really good. It was basically the shift in DC. You know, that should have been with Justice League, but that didn't happen. You know, with the switch in directors and all the things. So I feel like this has the potential to be great. It really does. And the acting was great in the first one. You know, minus Amber Heard.
Sans the Herd.
Yeah,
we've all been herded.
Patrick surprised me. Yeah, you're right about the acting. It was awesome.
You mean Patrick Wilson?
Sorry, yeah, Patrick Wilson.
Yeah.
Wrong. Not Terminator. Not Terminator.
dun, 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 dun. Robert Patrick, friend of the show. He's a fucking great guy. Worked with him like on CSI or something like that. He's fucking great.
Right.
He was great. But yeah, honestly, the problem with this, honestly, the trailer looks great. The problem with this movie at the end of the day is the DCEU is dead. It's done.
That they did that.
And I wish that they would have waited. They could have done secret castings for all the movies easily.
Great comment.
Arthur was,
It's like Thor and Loki.
Yeah.
100%.
It totally is.
That's a great comparison. Thank you.
And that's their idea, was make it more
90%
comedy.
of DC is just ripped offs of Marvel anyway. So
they were comic books, Rachel. They're not rip-offs of anyone. It's comic books.
I will say this,
yeah,
so
you could rip off another comic book.
Well, okay, so you show me the receipts.
Show me the receipts. But watching again, this feels like more Marvel than DC. Honestly, the first one felt like more Marvel than DC because Marvel's always trying to make things like out there. It's comic book reference. And DC's always like, let's ground it. Let's make it reality. But this is like, let's fucking throw everything out the window and like, let's let it live in the comic book universe it is. And I think that works really well for Aquaman. Like, how do you make Aquaman real as opposed to just like fucking letting him be fucking Aquaman? We live under the ocean. We were Atlantis before. Like, let it be. And I think this feels more Marvel. I think that's why the first one did so well, because it was more comic accurate. And I think this one could do well. But the problem is, again, it's dead. It's dead. And Jason Momoa is a great Aquaman. I think he's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Honestly, Aquaman was this dweeby little white guy in a fucking gold suit before.
Oh, you mean like on The Boys?
And you get, he was like fucking the deep. And now you get, now you get in the deep, as opposed to the deep fucking octopuses, you get Aquaman beating bitches up and slamming their heads against fucking submarines. I'm all about that. Jason Momoa is perfect for this. And I know he might play a different character in DC, but if they do it right, and James Gunn said that we don't know, this is rumor wells again. Fucking Gal Gadot said that, that she's coming back. But I think if you're going to keep anybody, you keep her, you keep fucking Jason Momoa, and you continue this shit forward. I fucking love.
If the DC universe gets rid of Aquaman, you should still keep Momoa because 100% he should be Lobo. 100%.
Yeah. Lobo.
I love your coffee mugs. Fuck yeah.
There'll be more coming out to people very soon.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in.
You can you can find us on Shopify. But yeah, honestly, everybody, Aquaman 2 is coming December 20th. Will it be great? Will it not be great? Will it make money? I think it's gonna be great. Will it make money? That's a big question. That's a big question. And I have a feeling it's not gonna do well, unfortunately, but what do you do, everybody?
We have a question, and that's a good question. I feel like if it does well, like this is the whole question.
This is it.
And I feel like it's zooming most of the DC films. Like, so okay, this film is doing good. This film is not doing great. Oh my God, Nick, by the way.
There'll be no more
He should
movies.
be Lobo. Wait, like
I stated that already.
20,000 episodes ago, I was like, he's gonna be Lobo. No, but this was like the very beginning. I was like, no,
I agree with you.
James Gunn was like, he's gonna continue, and I was like, he's gonna be Lobo. This is like Sleeper Cell way long ago, because James Gunn basically was like, you're not getting fired.
Because he knows he's gonna be Lobo. You're right.
I totally love that, Nick. Also, yes, the problem with this is I don't know. They still chose to use him at the end credit scene of The Flash. So like they still chose to carry him into this universe.
Because Aquaman 2's coming.
Right, I know, but still, like they ixnayed a bunch of credit scenes because of the furtherment of the universe. They let that one stay. Also, I think that if it does do well, which I feel like they kind of stilted it, they tainted it, like they're kind of making it not do well because of the way that they are posing it with the end of the universe and shit. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like it is questionable as to
There'll be no sequel. I'll
how
tell you
they're
right
going
now.
to move forward with him. I feel like they should
There'll be no
put him in
sequel.
a different place, which, as Nick said, and as I said a long, long time ago, would be Lobo.
Yeah, there's going to be no more Aquaman 3. This will be it. Unfortunately, even if it does fucking great, unless that he becomes the Aquaman in the future, I do not see a third one. I see him trying
fuckery to make another one work.
I mean, it has to make $2 billion. You know what I mean? It has to be one of those things where it does just as well or bigger.
If they didn't reset the universe, I feel like it would have done.
It would have. Oh, yes.
So if it
Still.
doesn't, I feel like it's because of that bullshit.
Best DC movie, highest grossing DC movie out of all of them. So if anybody's gonna make money, it's gonna be this one. But I have a feeling 205 million, at least 100 million in marketing, because that's always goes down too. So I'll say at least I would say they make at least 350 million. I put that out there to make their money back.
Oh,
if it,
sure.
Yeah, honestly, that's how you do it. So if they don't make over,
I think it'll pass the 500 mark.
if they don't make over 100 million opening
I'm
weekend,
gonna put that bet in right now.
650. I'm Vegas. Hold on. Let me take.
all right. So if it doesn't make 650, you're gonna dress like Aquaman, right, Rachel?
All right, I'll do it.
I'm writing it down. I'm holding you to it.
Yeah.
But it won't look pleasant.
I'll get one of those
I
like
just think-
muscle t-shirts.
I want to see it. I want to see it, Rachel. Anyways, everybody, Aquaman 2 is coming. It's coming very soon, December 20th. Check it out. The new trailer's out. You can watch it again if you didn't see it here. You know, if you're just listening to the audio podcast, you can listen to it or watch it after. We've been drinking a little bit. It's one of those days. It's fucking Friday. But thank you, everybody, for being here. As always, we appreciate you on Cruise Control. I can't wait to see Aquaman 2. Even if it doesn't make fucking money, I'm there for it. Anyways, everybody, thank you so much for being on Cruise Control tonight. Appreciate you as always. Happy fucking Friday. It's been a great night. We've been drinking a little bit. We have to drink one more time, everybody. Cheers to everybody that's still here in the chat.
Happy Friday.
Cheers. Happy Friday. Buy your Cruise Control
those coffee
boxers, mugs. We got boxers, we got mugs, we got sippy cups, we got fucking koozies, we got everything. Yeah, Rachel gave me a look. That's true. I made it up.
Thank you, Queen.
It's on Shopify. You can join the Cruise Control cause, but also just be here with us. We have a good time in the chat.
Hang
If you had a
out.
fun
Shout
time,
it out.
come
Shout
back,
it
please.
out.
Please come back. Racer X, love you so much being here. Love you so much. Queen,
Queen, Glamazona.
I've been drinking like Glamazona. Thank you so much for being here on Cruise Control as always. GR, we love you so much. You'll be back soon. IPA Sessions podcast. Check it out. Will be there's an actual special episode coming out Monday about the strike. You'll hear myself and Jacob and some more industry insiders talk about strike cap. We'll talk about people that are WGA members. Big things coming Monday. Thank you, Nick, for joining the very first time.
Thank you.
Rachel Blakely, thank you so much for being here back on Cruise Control. Happy fucking Friday. The queen of Drunk Friday. Hi, thank you so much, Rachel.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
My lovely co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittoria. Thank you so much for being here on Friday. Thank you so much.
I want to name everybody in the chat, but we had such a busy show tonight. Strange Kurt, thank you for joining us. Rachel Rex, thank you for coming back. Queen, thank you for coming back. Nick, thank you for coming in. Period.
Yeah.
What's her name? Glamadona?
Glamadona.
Glamadona.
Great chat.
Glamadona.
GR, Chris Benico, the Benico Way. We had a great chat tonight. Thank you guys for being so interactive, and thank you for coming. I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend. Love you. Thank you for supporting.
Sabrina, Glamazona.
Glamazona.
You gotta fucking compete with Rachel. You gotta compete with Rachel for the Queen of Friday. You gotta compete with Rachel. That's all I'm saying.
Queen's Amazona's queen every day. Rachel's just queen on Friday.
There's enough crowns for everybody.
That's true.
Hey, Jacob. Hey, Jacob, thank you so much for being here back on a Friday. Happy Friday. Watch IPA or listen to IPA and watch on YouTube IPA Sessions podcast. You love it so much, Jake. Thank you so much for being here, Jacob. Appreciate you.
I love it. I love being here. Thank you, guys. Rachel, thank you for tolerating me.
Yeah,
Sabrina,
it was tough for her.
thank you for tolerating me.
Also tough for me. I can
One
tell you all
more
about
drink. One more drink. 'Cause I need a drink before I get into the 3-0. Here we go.
Love you guys. Thank you for supporting us.
And as always, everybody, join our Patreon if you can.
Oh, fuck me up.
What was that?
I thought you were doing the C. I forgot you had to do the marsupial thing. My bad.
Hey, calm down. And as always, like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And as always, tell your friends, your family, your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your nephews, your grandmas, your grandpas, your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa, because he's fucking awesome. I love him so much. He fucking has a whittler. He whittles all the time. He fucking loves dolls. They're awesome. They're fucking great. You see those fucking cheese, they're fucking artsmen. He fucking subscribe to Cruise Control. Subscribe to Cruise Control. Tell that fucking mailman, because he goes to millions and millions of house more. Fucking throw that chinchilla in their mailbox with the subscribe button. They can subscribe to everybody in your fucking neighborhood. Subscribe to Cruise Control. Tell that fucking skunk and that fucking possum that have that fucking amazing babies. Subscribe to Cruise Control. The fucking chinchillas who are fucking douchebags. Subscribe to Cruise Control. The fucking kangaroos, the fucking Norwalks, the fucking Buddy the Elves, all those motherfucking fairy tale features that are fucking out there in the world that are fucking scavenging your neighborhood. And subscribe to Cruise Control. Everybody out there, please tell everybody, because we've got to keep these numbers going. We're at 589, are we at 90? 509 subscribers. Numbers keep going up as always.
10 more to
We'll be at 600 by next week. Keep that shit going, because
600 by tomorrow, motherfucker.
we want to keep the numbers going. We love you so much. We're just fucking spreading the word. We're having a great time, and we're also talking about entertainment news in a comedic way, because that's the world we live in. So thank you so much for being here on Friday. Happy Friday. One more drink.
Oh, cheers. Love you guys. Thank you.
And as always, see ya.
Hey, see ya.
Oh, wow. That was just Jack. Oh.